Welcome, Ian.
Welcome. I mean, yeah, I'm welcoming you to your own podcast.
Thanks, man. How's everything been?
Very good. Yeah. It's been a wild ride recently. Yeah.
Just for the audience who might not know about you, like Sano एउटा introduction दिने मिल्छ, bro, before we begin.
Hi, I'm Ian Scott Clement. You can call me Ian. I'm a filmmaker, artist, and just a guy.
And aspiring actor.
Yeah, and yeah, a non-aspiring actor. I've just become an actor, but yeah, we'll see.
Apparently, man.
Apparently, yeah.
So Ian and I have been like really good friends since a very long time. I'm able to shoot pani I think like you know what I found this footage. Nom chum.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Oh my god. Whoa, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, we did that together. Holy shit. Num Tum, yeah.
Yeah, that was way back, man.
That was interesting project, yeah.
That's not the first time we met though. Like we've been seeing each other like धेरै अगाडि देखि हैन.
Yeah, I want to say like 2000, it was like before the earthquake. 2014 तिर जस्तो लाग्यो.
Okay. So Ian ले नेपालमा आएर somehow he loves Nepal and he's been here for
somehow. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You sound like you're surprised. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't imagine a filmmaker sticking here making movies. I wouldn't. Like there is Kalani or Kalani. Two.
Yeah, Kalani is another one. Murray is another one. That guy that did Caravan. I don't remember his name.
Eric.
You know, coming a long line of white dudes that have come here and made movies.
Yeah.
But I stayed.
Yeah, you stayed. I wouldn't imagine because Mango Pickle ko bela you might not remember. So Mango Pickle भन्नेको movie को promotion way back Raw Bars को अगाडिपट्टि छ के त्यहाँ. And it's finally releasing this Friday. Paradygm TV मा. Producer पनि मेरो college Apex देखिको साथी हो and I've known you since Apex days नै because I was also in Apex. Okay, so त्यो बेला चाहिँ you couldn't remember me because there was like a lot of people coming in at once. You were staying near Baneshwar तिर कुनै
Santinagar.
Yeah, apartment. I've come to your place and like I
What?
Yeah.
त्यति बेला
मजाले
सुरजसँग
probably.
Okay.
अनि त्यो सबै केटाहरू त हामीले चाहिँ
There's a lot of people.
The music video with you didn't do the music video with Yamabuddha, right? Sati?
No, I didn't do Sati. I did KTM Grime was the first one I did with him. That was like right after Sati. So.
Okay. Sathi भन्ने म्युजिक भिडियो गर्दाखेरि पनि सबै केटाहरू चिनेको हो नि त. सो यमबुद्धको त्यो सर्कलमा हाम्रो धेरैजना भाइहरू एक्टिङहरू गरिरहेको थियो. त्यो टाइममा I came to your place and like everyone was like Sisan Sanjay.
Right.
Like too much for you to remember. I can totally understand.
Oh, that's so funny.
So he's been there on the movie आउँदैछ. I'm really excited. Like छोटो राम्रो मिठो मुभी छ. यो चाहिँ अलिकति फेस्टिभल टाइपको मुभी हो हैन. It started what 10 years ago or even maybe more. More, right?
Yeah.
Maybe 2008-9 तिर सुरु भयो होला यो.
So yeah, I first came to Nepal in 2008 and then when I went back home, I got the idea for Mango Pickle. So
you came here just to chill, हैन?
त्यही त. मेरो हाई स्कुलको साथी नेपाली थियो हैन? US मा.
Okay.
उसँगै आएको.
You're not from the States, right?
No, I am from the States. My mom is not. My mom is Scottish.
Yeah,
I'm from the States.
Yeah, okay.
So I had only gone to like Scotland. Like it's just like Nepalis that live abroad. They come to Nepal every couple of years to see like auntie or uncle. So I've done that like so many times. And I had this kind of epiphany at one point that I need to travel and decided I wanted to take a semester off from college. I was at Massachusetts College of Art. And then it just dawned on me that my friend Viraj, who was like, jigri sati thiyo, all through high school, he had mentioned he was coming back to Nepal. I'm like, when are you going back? I just called him and when are you going back? And he's like, yeah, I'm going in the fall. I was like, perfect. That's when I wanted to. I was like, I'm coming with you. And then he was like, oh, okay. So everyone was cool with it. I just decided to come. I didn't even know much about Nepal. and then I didn't Google it that much or anything. I was like, no spoilers. Like, this is just gonna be more fun if I already just have my image of what I think Nepal is gonna be, and then
turned out.
Man, yeah, I'd like see. I want to say I thought like Kathmandu is gonna be like Basantapur. You know, I'd like seen photos of like Durbar Square.
That's
and
what
stuff,
everyone
and I was
assumes.
like, then I thought like, okay, it's gonna be like kind of small town. You know, I know it's a city. I knew it was a city, but like I thought it
Probably in a Shangri-La-ish. Small
I mean,
temples and stuff only.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be somewhere between what I thought of Brazil and what I thought of Tibet. You know, I don't know exactly what I was thinking, but when I remember coming in on the plane, seeing Kathmandu, and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I fell in love with it like immediately. And all of the crazy stuff like Dulo Sulo and all the jams and like the power lines and stuff, I loved it. I was like, this is so cool. I've never seen anything like this. Like, this is way more gritty and hardcore than I thought it would be, and I liked that. And I stayed with him for like 3 months at his Momogar, and I just love. I remember even like the very first night, like getting to his Momogar, and it was still like nighttime, and we were eating like tandoori and having like whiskey and stuff, and I was like, oh shit, I have to leave here in 3 months. I was like already dreading going. I'd not even been there for like more than like a couple hours. And then I stayed for like 3 months and just blew my mind, and I met all his cousins' friends and friends of friends and whatever, and the whole time, like, because I'm a filmmaker, I'm like, this would be an amazing place to make a movie. And whenever I try, this is the thing with me when I'm writing something, if I feel like I'm trying to make a movie, trying to include something I like in a movie, it'll never work. Or the good idea won't come. If I'm like chasing it, like I want to make something like that, that's not a good idea. It should come to you like, you know, like black, like a bird shitting on your head. Like the idea should be like that. So I remember as I was here, I was kind of trying to come up with something, and I'm like, why am I doing this? Like everything I came up with was shit. But then, and I was like, fuck it. If I'm gonna get an idea, I've been here long enough, it'll come to me. And sure enough, like maybe 2 months after I went back to the US, I started getting ideas. And at that time, I was halfway through college. I knew to final year, full year ma एउटा project गर्ने मिल्छ. Like your final thesis, like no other classes, you just do your thesis.
Okay, perfect.
So I was like, I'm gonna make my thesis in Nepal. And that's what Mango Pickle is. That was my college final project. So it's the budget theater. I think I thought I knew more of what kind of movie I wanted to make.
Camera pani थियो. Is it your camera? And camcorder?
No, that was my friend's camera. He ended up being the DP, Colin Rich. He was my friend from. He was also a film major, and I liked his shooting style. And he had that camera. I wanted a. त्यो बेलामा पनि अलि professional camera use गर्ने मिल्थ्यो.
No.
It's daily budget.
I know you wanted the look.
I wanted that look. Yeah, I've had to defend that for. Now people think it's cool. Oh, you shot that.
Now that's what's trending.
Now it's trending. Shooting on mini DV and the त्यो बेलामा it was like everyone's like, what? Why are you doing? You can shoot in HD and like card. Shoot on a card and something like. No, I want the tape. I had the feeling that like it'll be more authentic, and I generally don't want my movies to just feel like a movie. Like I want to be changing something. So when you're watching it, you're not innately feeling like I've seen this before. So I like
something like this.
Yeah.
So you आजकल चलिरहेछ. Thanks.
This is smaller than the one we had.
This is smaller, but you say DV छैन. That's why it's smaller. DV को space छैन. The quality is very similar to what's maybe
exactly little flip out monitor.
Yeah. So this is what made a movie Mango Pickle. Maybe something even less quality bago.
Yeah.
The zoom thing. You know what? तिमीहरुले यो movie खिच्न बित्तिकै त्यो मासुवाला shot, the birds. I had already seen it के. कहाँबाट मेरोमा पुगेको थियो त्यो. Because I used to watch movie like Smoke Up and Rambo Mo. हाम्रो movie एकदम enthusiastहरु थियो. सबै movie हेरे केटाहरु. So they were kind of training me किनकि मैले धेरै राम्रो movieहरु, classic movies हेरेको थिएन. अनि त्यतिखेर okay we are doing this भनेर Rambo has been there for you since forever.
Yeah.
He's been an amazing friend. He really loves, admires, respects and believes in you. अनि त्यतिखेर नै भन्थ्यो कि एउटा छ बाहिर खैरहेको छ कृष्ण अनि देखाएको थियो फुटेजहरू नि आई वाज लाइक ओ म्यान मासु बसल यत्तिकै खिचिदिइरहेको छ चरा खिचिदिइरहेको छ दिस इज बिन देयर फर एभर अनि इफ युआर इन नेपाल लाइक इभन इफ अ फरेनर कम्स इन उसले probably he'll go to what Mustang or like कुनै हिल माउन्टेन्सको लागि आउँछ so no one really makes movies on the gritty urban vibe अनि the moment you shot that I was like something opened up कि wow यो त actually काठमाडौँ हो नि त the इट्टावाला walls and things हुन्छ नि it's got someone made something is making something out of it भनेर मलाई अति रमाइलो लाग्थ्यो and I waited for the movie man I waited for the movie
you waited a long time
अनि अस्ति डिस होममा आएको थियो नि आई थिङ्क कोभिडको बेला केमा डिस होममा आएको बेला चाहिँ आई लाइक पेड एन्ड वाच द थिङ अनि अनेस्टली भन्नु पर्दाखेरि फर मी दिस माइट सरप्राइज होइन मैले बसन्जीको फाइनल कट हेरेको छैन होइन तर बसन्जी मैले दुई तिनवटा सानो सानो गरी जस्ट मैले हेरेको छु बसन्जी तर मलाई म्याङ्गो पिकलको फ्लो it came from the heart अनि I'm pretty sure like this is a very old thing like I forget that movie that was way back जस्तो लाग्छ तर still 10-12 years and what kept you going it's extremely good for me at least होइन सबभन्दा मन परेको the way you put the मेन भिलनिश क्यारेक्टर्स जसको एक्जिस्टेन्स पनि छैन तर प्रेजेन्सले मात्रै एउटा दुईवटा सिन मात्रै छ उसको लाइक स्लाइटली देखिन्छ मात्रै द चिल्स आउने सबभन्दा मन परेको चाहिँ द वे द भिजुअल्स गोज अलङ विथ द साउन्ड डिजाइन इज fucking A man. I've never seen a Nepali movie with that kind of sound design. कसले गर्यो?
So there's been like multiple people that worked on that throughout the years. So
I know it's your thing mostly. It's you wanting that kind of thing. But technically, there's been a lot of people.
So first it was Mikhail Kesselman, we call him Misha. He came. I had two guys that came with me from my college.
Yeah, okay.
So he did the like on-set recording.
Okay.
Of all the ambient, and I told him like I want to build this all with ambient sound, like minimal soundtrack. Then I started thinking I wanted a soundtrack using just singing bowls as far as the score goes. And so he went to a store and recorded every singing bowl that they had.
Wow.
And that's what all of the score is made from those recordings. I think it's like 10 recordings or something. But all modulation and stuff, they changed it. But the core of it, it's all the music you hear is from singing bowls. And then Uttam Nyapani worked on it for many years. Spadix, he's a producer. He worked on it a little bit at some point. And AJ, the producer, you know, he's also a big hip hop producer. He helped when we were deciding to actually release this thing on the dish.
Kind of mastered the thing, kind of.
Yeah.
Like in a song master got as the mixing
Yeah,
master
him. Shraul.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
Shraul also worked on it. And now you're gonna have to look at the credits to see exactly how everyone was. I hope everyone was credited correctly.
No, but the chills that like the anticipation on the you can't just build on something without the music. Just like
Yeah,
like,
definitely
it's so
not.
subtle yet it's like it gives you the chills. Mala the last one, but
Oh yeah, that's one thing. That's cool to hear that you got the chills because I wanted to do a gangster movie, but I wanted it to be more like gangsters I'd seen in real life, or just not even ones that I'd met, but just like knowing the reality of it is that it's not cool. It's scary as fuck. Like people that murder
did you
people.
hang out with
I have, definitely.
how did you find out the
I don't know. There's a thing in Nepal where, especially with, I don't know. I think I don't know if it's just me, but it seemed like every neighborhood I'd moved to in Kathmandu, like whoever the kind of dons of that area would just kind of find you and want to hang out with you, and you just end up with these friends that are, you know, into interesting line of work. And then I think lots of guys, like I'd say a lot of my friend group, at some point in their life, I mean, if you grew up in Kathmandu as a guy, there was some kind of gangster shit going on.
No, don't mess with the
and,
yes.
No, I'm not gangster at all. Like no, but
he's got like friends that might.
I think everyone had some kind of मेरो तो उसको अब you know
it's Nepal, man.
bobal भयो and यस्तै हुन्छ. So, but yeah, so when you see that kind of stuff, it's not fun or cool. And like most gangster movies, they show them, it's all slow motion, shooting the gun, and a main character dying. It's always like this, like, you know, slow motion and, oh my God, he got shot and coming over and like he gets his last words out. It's never like that beautiful or dramatic. It's just shocking and then it's done and it's just like sad. And I wanted to make like and I love horror movies, and I you know, and I like gangster movies as well to a certain amount. But I wanted to kind of mix those things. I wanted to be like, okay, so the gangsters here are just psychos. You know, that I think a lot of the people that are like really whoever the kingpin of that group is, it's not like the coolest guy that gets the girl and listens to cool music. They're like strange and kind of they're closer to how you've seen serial killers.
Troubled.
Yeah, troubled, eccentric. And I that's what I wanted. So I think you got that. And then I also found like to build the villain, like, and it goes back to that annoying example of, you know, Steven Spielberg with the shark not working in Jaws, but that's what made the shark scarier because you barely see it, but he's always being spoken about. And I always thought, like, if I want to show this guy some kind of kingpin, the more that we hear about this character from other characters but don't see them, the more important they seem. And then by the time they're there, you along with the way the character, oh, that's him, you know? A lot of movies will do this. They'll say, oh, that's him. He's the head of the gang, you know, the villain. When you see him all the time, it's the characters telling you, like, to feel excited, oh, that's the guy. But if you just keep hearing about this guy and then he's there, it's like, oh, you feel like you've earned that time with them. So I wanted to build the villains up like that, keep them mysterious, keep them.
Don't have it on your face like first scene. Okay, murder that guy. So that's lame. That's.
I mean, in Mango Pickle, it's you don't know it's that guy until, like, the main character doesn't know who he is. It's like, oh, he's right there, and then we don't know. But then, and then you keep thinking you're gonna see him like a bunch, but it's like, oh, that was your little shot, and then. Yeah, he'll. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything.
Almost did though.
Almost.
I noticed this thing. Yesterday, I was watching an anime. Mero office ko payo ekdam anime hercha. He said, watch this thing. Tesma pani, or even in South movies. So South movie ma hero ko introduction kasari huncha bhanda. That's what's selling really.
Talking about like South Indian movies.
Yeah, hey, like he's from this and someone says, and he like then that person. So the build up cha. Even in the animes also. There's this guy does it and he like half an hour or next episode ma balla tyo character आउँछ. So build up एकदम important छ नि त.
Build up, exactly. You need to build it up. And I think it's also like you need to, it's that whole show don't tell thing. Like I hate when movies are like, let's say for like Saw, like the movie Saw franchise, which I just don't like. They're always saying like he's a genius. Like the characters are always saying this guy's a genius, this killer. But it's like really, okay, so he like just kidnapped some people and he put them in these weird rooms. I don't see what, just because you say he's a genius doesn't make any of this stuff genius. Like, show that he's genius. Like Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs. Like, oh, how he escapes from that. You know the scene I'm talking about where he takes the faces out. You know, which has been done a bunch of times now. But
Hopkins.
People aren't just always saying, "Oh, he's so smart." It's the characters, the lines that are written, genius, and the character like. You don't have to have the characters keep saying, well, this guy's a genius. So it's the same thing. This guy's really scary. It's like, well, just be scary or just do it. And if it works, then it will be that. We don't have to have the characters, oh, this guy's so funny. And it's like, well, no, if the character's funny, we'll laugh. Like, we'll know. We don't need other characters in the movie being like, that's what that guy's role is and I'm this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hate all that shit. So. Yeah, I try to let the movie just be whatever it is and not explain things, not have characters explaining things.
But man, after it's more than 10 years, I know your movie banane process. What kept you going? Like, what was the thing that was like, okay, अलिकति stress पनि होला, everyone keeps talking about it. मैले त्यसको promo पनि गरिसकेँ अनि like technologically नभएको कि team नभएको कि funds नभएको कि
all of those things. And
but you being persistent and completing the thing was like, okay, wow. God,
I felt like I had to complete it because I had never not completed a movie. I've been making movies. I guess the first real movie, I would say I was like 14. And then I
14 ma.
yeah. I had video editing software back then as well. This is like 1999. But like, yeah, I begged my mom to get this video editing software. I'd been begging my parents for a camera since I was like, I remember I really wanted to get started when I was like 3 or 4. Like I was writing, yeah.
3 or 4.
Because like my dad brought a video camera home from work and we just would play around with it. And then anytime I found anyone's like, if a friend mentioned that their neighbor's dad something had a camera, I would beg until we could get it. And just whenever I didn't even know what to do with it. It's just like, let's just film, let's make a movie. I'm a superhero, I'm a ghost, whatever. Bullshit stuff. But I kept begging them, but they were like, my parents were very much, you got to earn, the camera's very expensive. But I think I just wore them down until the point where they just, and I kept writing scripts, and then I was doing like animations. I had like
Were you writing since you were that young?
Yeah. I remember the first thing I ever remember typing was kind of a script. It was a story, and I wanted it to be a movie, and it was about, it was a horror. I was like a creepy little kid.
And they came into dead bodies, man. When you were 4?
Like they had like meetings about me when I was a kid, like with my parents, like, oh, he's drawing all this violent stuff. And they're like, what kind of movies are you letting him watch? And they're like, we don't let him watch like anything. Because they were like really restrictive of what I was allowed to watch. And the teacher, that was like, like, so he's coming up with this? Like, so is he like a little psychopath? Like, and my parents were like, and my mom would tell everyone, he's going to be the next Stephen King. That was like, I remember hearing my mom say that to people. And I thought like, yeah, I'm going to be the next Stephen King. But it's like to say that about like a 6-year-old is like kind of crazy. Anyways, no, I was not like torturing animals or anything. I was very like, I just liked for some reason I was always drawn to horror and the darkness in movies and stuff, not in like exactly in real
just
life. Naturally, yeah. And I remember, trying to write this movie about, I used to see in movies a lot, like kids doing this like blood brothers thing, like they all cut their hands and they put their hands together. And then one of my friends had told me that he had seen The Exorcist. I mean, we were like 6 years old. I don't know what parent is letting a 6-year-old watch The Exorcist. She's like, I saw the scariest movie and this girl had the devil inside her, like trying to explain it as a kid. And then somehow in my head, I was like, oh, what if that girl had a group of friends and cut her hand and then they all got like the devil blood and then they all got like different powers. Like that was my story. That's the first story I remember making. And it was like a kind of a horror kind of almost like a Marvel universe type thing that I didn't even know that you could like, I didn't know what a director was and all that stuff, But yeah, so it's like we opened a Wikipedia and then another tab.
But this is the era like 90s. It's like horror movies ko ta ramro euta series थियो नि त. Even movies like what, Sixth Sense? Yeah, Sixth Sense was 90s guy.
Yeah, that was mid 90s.
Yeah,
late
94s, 95.
I saw that in the theater. That scared the shit out of me. That was the first movie that really scared the shit out of me. Was that movie?
Until they made like begin to make like parodies, scary movie हरू बनाउन थाले. त्यो भन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ too much बनाएपछि उडाउन थाल्यो. तर त्यो भन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ horror movies को त like there was a like really good.
It's kind of
Shining,
this renaissance. Well, Shining was like way before, but yeah, I'd say like from like the 70s to the 90s, there was like a really good period, and now I think we're in another really good period for horror. But if I remember, the reason I was talking about this was you were like, what kept me going making Mango Pickle? And I was like, I had never not finished a movie, right? So like, when I was 14, I made a horror movie, a haunted house movie. And we had a film festival at my high school. It was the first year that my high school had ever had a film festival. It just worked out for me. So, and I had just heard someone talk about like, oh, there's gonna be a film festival at the end of the year. And I worked like the whole year on it. I think most of the kids started like a month before the festival, but I worked like all year on this like horror movie. And people really liked it. And so then the next year I did this kind of Requiem for a Dream kind of trippy, it was dream inside a dream thing. Ended up being kind of like Inception. And then I did like a Kung Fu movie and whatever. Like every year I was trying like my different genres. I think every filmmaker does this. You kind of copy all the stuff that you like as a high school kid. I'm glad I got that phase out when I was young and there was no YouTube. Because I watched these movies recently and I'm still like proud of it, but it's like basically I went through everything I don't like and like what I'm left doing now is like I got all of that stuff out of my system. Nice. Which I think a lot of people don't, if they don't just get started, realize you're gonna copy everyone that you like, and you're not gonna probably be all that original until like later on.
Yeah.
So I was able to push through all that stuff in high school in a very safe environment. And
Like
so,
every director, actor, like even if you look at the best actors like Tom Hanks, उसको नि first 5 film is like अलिकति नचलेको नै छ, shitty नै छ कि अहिले हेऱ्यो भने.
I mean, I can't think of what they would be, but
होइन छ movies.
you mean his acting style wasn't as good, or just the movies weren't good?
बेसिकली अलिकति कस्तो कमिक खालको हुन्छ नि, लाइक बेग जस्तो त्यो मुभी लाइक डेप्थ छैन नि त. अर इभन द मुभिज बिफोर द्याट आई वाच्ड इट होइन, बेसिक थियो कि उसको डेप्थ थिएन. अब पछि एकैचोटि उसले 3-4 राम्रो मुभी गर्यो काइन्ड अफ अर्ली 90s तिर. तर इभन द डिरेक्टर्स अल्सो कतिजना डिरेक्टरको त फर्स्ट मुभी इट नेभर गेट्स रिलिजेस के. त्यो अनुराग कश्यप भन्ने एउटा इन्डियन छ, हि इज रिटन सो मेनी, इज रियली गुड. He's really good. Gangs of Wasseypur wala.
Oh, okay. He did that.
He's really good. You love his movies, you know. But usko first film release bhayena kaile ke. And now he is like the most highest reputed huncha ni. So first projects haru chai alikati you can expect a lot of faults in it.
Yeah.
You're just learning and you're not getting in the vibe. You don't know what you are meant to make jasto ni lagcha malai. Like you said, you get a lot of inspiration. Ani subconscious ma tela cheat garera huncha, you don't even know.
Exactly. Yeah, you think, oh, this is my idea, but then
it's been there in your head.
Yeah, or you copied it from somewhere. It's not exactly you're getting close. I found that with every movie I was making, I was getting closer to what I could say would be like my style or my reason for shooting in a certain way. Including Mango Pickle, like there now I watch that and I would say that's my first real like movie that I would stand by. And I can see moments, there's certain scenes in there where I'm like, that's where I really got it. Because after I watched it, once it's all done and you can forget about it and then watch it more like an audience member, and that's when you can know like, okay, don't like this stuff, really like this. And even while I was shooting like certain scenes in that, which was like, I like these long take things, I like this reactive camera. So there's certain things like that you could then go and look at Basanji. And Basanji is the first movie I really want to like stand behind. It's like, okay, that's like really my Mango Pickle I am proud of. I'm not saying that. But I was still figuring out what I wanted to do with movies. And yeah, Basanji is the one where I really I feel like I nailed kind of this.
You registered it as a Nepali film, right? Garisakyo. The registration and everything.
It's for Basanji?
Yeah, it's a Nepali film, right? I think it's the first Nepali feature film that has first person view also. Definitely.
I guess so.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
Pretty sure.
I would say, yeah. I mean, and it's not only that, it's the POV and then it's only POV or third person, which I try to explain to people, like a lot of kids.
That took me some time to know.
Yeah.
This is near when I had my back surgery on I had like terrible back, and we had म गएको थिएँ 1 हप्ता जस्तो त्यसको प्रीमा. I know the script, I know everything, though it changed पछि होला. तर त्यतिखेर प्रीमा म थिएँ. We auditioned it together नि.
Yep.
The actors Mandala Theatre मा.
Yeah.
So the process मा चाहिँ थियो, my bad got fucked up, I couldn't do it. To take months plus gimbal symbol, like it was already heavy.
Or with the helmet cam, that would have been you would have been broken in half.
Yeah, I just had to like stall from that project. But त्यतिखेर first shot the movie goes from a first person अनि फेरि third person मा जान्छ. It's like it's something that I've never heard of even. त्यो फेजमा you were like all into first person movies, Enter the Void, everything. You gave me a list, I watched everything. It was something else.
Yeah, I would say like the biggest inspiration for that movie was actually The Shining. Just because of there's like one scene in The Shining where it cuts to the POV of Jack Nicholson going into this room where there's this like lady in the bathtub that, if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to spoil it. But I always found that scene so terrifying, and it's so slow, and I just loved it. But the camera movements, I always felt like it wasn't exactly like, it didn't feel like exactly like POV. And then when I saw Enter the Void, I was like, okay, so you can do like a more realistic POV now, because we can mount the camera on the head.
It's a trippy movie. Yeah.
Although I think they shot that, I don't even know. I don't think they mounted the camera on the head. They just, I'm not exactly sure how they did that, but the way it was done. And then still I felt like, okay, yeah, but this is, that most of the movie isn't in POV in that. I mean, it starts out like that and then it goes to something else. But I was like, this is a really cool tool. But what the real thing that inspired me the most, even before Enter the Void, was the game Halo.
Okay.
I used to play Halo a lot, and I think it was when the third one came out, they introduced this spectate feature where you don't play, you just like watch.
Okay,
And they
so
had, and I think that had already happened, but you'd normally be, you'd be like kind of like a fly on the wall. But what I loved was like you could like latch on to a character and you could be in like third person view and you can orbit. You'd be like, it'd be like, okay, I want to follow this guy and I'm like stuck on you and I can control the camera like just in a very strict orbit around wherever he's going. And then at any time I can switch to POV. And I just started doing that over and over again. And I'd already been doing with Mango Pickle like these orbiting camera movements. I really liked like having instead of having these tracking shots, having the camera rotate and then find something else and rotate around that. And I was already into that, so I was kind of doing that. I'm like, fuck, this would be so cool to do in a movie, but you can't do it. You can't make it look like real POV. So Enter the Void came out. I'm like, you can. Okay, I can do this. So Basenji, the whole movie is that. It's like a video game. I wanted it to be more like a video game than a movie. Like as people are watching it, they're getting kind of more of a vibe like they are playing a game or they're watching a friend play a game more than, oh, I'm just watching a standard movie. And the plot structure and everything is so different. So I don't know. Did you get that kind of vibe at all watching it?
No. It was super duper interesting technically. I know.
Yeah.
Only what surprised me is almost everyone looks like a non-actor, very new faces, but like this is what I always say, like the actor is a reflection of the director, like what the director wants.
Yeah.
Nepali film, sorry to say, actors can act. Anyone can act, I think. That's what I believe. I know.
Yeah.
Like it's up to you to how you gonna utilize that person. Ni. अनि यहाँ चाहिँ डिरेक्टरको रिफ्लेक्सन हुन्छ वाट्स डिरेक्टर वान्ट्स यु टु येल वेन समवन डाइज लाइक युड फिल प्रोबब्ली नथिङ यु वान्ट इभन मेबी क्राई होला तर यहाँ त हुनु पर्यो
like did you see Hereditary?
Yeah,
the car scene,
man.
right? His reaction.
Oh shit,
just
man.
Sitting.
That's the movie I've been like trying to get my films. Every like, what movie would you want to watch on Hereditary? Oh,
yeah,
man.
we got to not even say anything
so
more. No
stressful,
spoilers.
man. Like I was glad that was over. At the same time, I was like, oh, that was an experience.
Dude, after I saw that
so
movie,
disturbing, man.
After I saw that movie, we still had.
I went numb.
Yeah, and then I was like looking him up. I'm like, oh my god, he's like the director's like almost same age as me, and he did this amazing. And there's just certain things with the plot that they did that they took it to these next levels. And then I watched my cut of Basenji, and I was like, this is just not. He like made me. We went out and shot like another whole week of shooting after I saw Hereditary, just because I was like, I had thought like I'd done enough with the movie, and then when I saw like, oh, but they took it to this like next, and I don't want to explain it, but like the plot just needed to go just a little bit further, because
I don't think you could even explain what it is, right?
Yeah,
it's a kind of movie that you couldn't even explain. What is it about? Like it's just disturbing, man.
Yeah,
it's thrilling.
Oh, if you watch it a few times, you'll definitely everything's pretty clear. Actually, much more clear than Basenji, but. That's what I was thinking, like, you know, like David Lynch, like Mulholland Drive kind of thing is what I was thinking to do. And I knew what the whole backstory is to Basenji, exactly what is going on. It is all written out, but I wanted to give less and less puzzle pieces to keep it more and more vague. And then when I saw Hereditary, I was like, oh, yeah, maybe just giving a few more pieces and have those pieces be like crazy, just to get people a little even more dramatically involved. And then they will want to figure out what this plot is. So yeah, we went. That movie was so good. We went back to the drawing board. Anyway, I can't remember. I keep feeling like we're starting something, and then
no. It doesn't even matter, man. Let's just go with the flow. Like we don't have to like make a point out of everything. Yeah. What director did you follow since the beginning, or like whose fan you've become? I'm pretty sure there's not one person to choose, because like filmmakers are like all over the place. Like at a phase, you're a fan of something. At a phase, you're a fan of something. Like what you've been watching recently, or?
Okay. Well, yeah. Recently, I've been really into this guy called Alan Resnick. He doesn't make movies, but he makes a lot of really cool content that's on YouTube and stuff. He's more of a video artist, but he makes just like, you should go check out Alan Tutorial. Have you ever heard of this guy?
Not really. Is this the same person that kind of mocks what happened in the movie scene? No, right?
No. He's a very kind of next. It's kind of comedy, also kind of horror. he makes stuff that like, and he would just put it on YouTube and not even, and like put it on a new channel and just like leave it there. And it would be like something that you'd kind of find and just look at and like, how was this made? Why was this made? Really strange, really strange stuff. Like this thing called Alan Tutorial. It's like a series of like hundreds of tutorials on like really bizarre, like how to pour water into a cup, like things like that. And the voice of the guy, like you start to build like, who is this? This guy's he's clearly like mentally ill. Like this, he's playing a character, but it's like this guy's mentally ill. It looks like he's living at somebody's house that doesn't want him there. He ends up getting like kicked out of the house. Like, so he has like a tutorial how to get back into your house when you've been locked out, you know, or like, yeah, how to get out of a dark room and find light. Like he's locked in a room for a while and like, he's always making tutorials and the story keeps building. It's just so interesting. So like, I really like seeing artists that take the form to a next level, because I feel like all the time it's very common in movies that we're using the same language film-wise, like the filming techniques are the same, we're only updating the subject matter, like the stories. So you see like, oh, this guy's such an original filmmaker, and it's like, really, okay, it's just shot nice, but it's still, okay, you're shooting 24 frames per second, you're shooting, you know, wide shot, you know, to establish the location, then we're getting a close-up when it's dramatic. I mean, you're basically doing something that's been done. Not that that's bad, but it just, I like, let's say Stanley Kubrick, like the reason we keep watching his movies is because when they came out, no one had made a movie that looked anything like that. And it wasn't
every genre, man. Killed every genre.
In every genre. And then also not in a way that's just like, look at me, look at what I'm doing with the camera. You know, he would create a consistent style throughout the movie. So maybe at the beginning you might be like, well, this shot really weird. This is new. I haven't seen this. But because it's not just being so showy and on the face and it suits the subject matter, you just get into it and they build that world. And then he's moved the filmmaking thing forward one. And I that's, so like him, yeah, Gaspar Noé, love his stuff.
I was expecting you to start with Stanley because
yeah. I mean, I know it's cliche as hell, but yeah, he's the best.
Shining पनि उसको हैन? Shining पनि उसकै हो.
Yeah. Shining. I'd say 2001 is his best, but then Eyes Wide Shut, close second as well.
Too much. Like not अहिले पनि गर्न सक्दैन नेपालीहरुले. Like what he did back then, chances छैन. त्यो दिमागै
don't say that. Maybe someone will, dude. I mean, yeah, it'll be very difficult.
No disrespect. Not even in the world होला कि त्यति innovative दिमाग. उसले त त्यतिखेर नै VFX को जुगाड गर्दै हो नि त.
Well, then you've got James Cameron that seems to be able to do whatever he wants with VFX, but then he just goes and makes
you have this technology oil in the.
But I mean, like, yeah. James Cameron's someone that if he actually had the originality, could do something really groundbreaking because he can just create technology for
the details. Man, you did see Avatar too. I was like like all the time I was like details. पछाडीको पनि त्यहाँ like. There's something meaningful the production value ma ke tyo animations haru ma ke. Okay, no, you see, I think mainstream huna bittikai things turn off for you. Saw man parena bhanyo. I would assume that you'd like Saw, tara alikati mainstream bhara too popular bhara man.
I mean, the first one was an indie horror movie that like went to Sundance and stuff. That's why I went to see the first Saw. And right at the beginning, like, okay, this guy laying on the ground, he's the guy. You know, he's gonna stand up. I mean, yeah, because what's he doing here? It's like like that's like basic 101. Like
maybe त्यतिखेर someone you've already watched a lot of movies. म त्यतिखेर movie मा छिरेको. For me, that was a surprise.
There's never a useless character. They wouldn't have this. They wouldn't be shooting for a month and every day being like, okay, but get back on the floor. Like this is clearly a person. They don't have. I don't think they're gonna have the budget to make a life-size model that looks realistic of a dead body. I mean, maybe they could, but. Seemed like he was probably. I think they had close-ups of the face. I don't know. Did they? But anyways, I'm like that guy is important because it's so sparse. 2 men in a room and one's dead, and they only talk about that at the beginning, and then they completely forget about it. And there's no backstory about who that guy could be. So it's like, well, if this detail is here, but there doesn't seem to serve any purpose, it will serve a purpose. You know. That's why I like bad mystery movies. Whatever character seems like they don't really have anything to do in the movie, that's always the person. That's like the killer. You know, so I don't know that, and then it just ended up becoming this torture thing. And okay, he's sawing his leg off. I'm like, in the movie, it's called Saw. It wasn't really not like Blair Witch Project. I think that's one that changed the genre.
Yeah.
Super low budget, very little on screen, basically no violence on screen. Like they do find some like organs and a little, but, But so James Cameron with that, with Avatar, I just thought it had no imagination. I was just. Because I actually I grew up watching Lord of the Rings. I've read Lord of the Rings. I like Game of Thrones, at least before it all fell apart, But the beginning, even the new one, I'm pretty into, the House of the Dragon. So it's not just because mainstream, I hate it. But you look at Game of Thrones and look at the design when they go into the Lannisters, whatever, Queen's Court, I don't know, whatever. The set design, the clothing, it's always different and intricate and interesting. And the different monsters and the White Walkers. And there's so much imagination there. And then you go to this Avatar planet, everyone looks the same. They basically the ocean ones just have this Maori face tattoos that's just directly ripped off from real cultures on Earth. Why would they're not even on Earth, they're aliens, whatever. And then their buildings and stuff just are leather triangles. It's tents. They're empty. I'm like, where do these people eat? What are why don't they have different styles in clothing and jewelry? Why aren't there some that are maybe a little overweight, older, younger? I mean, they basically all look the same. I don't know where they sit down. There's not even chairs anywhere or anything, And I was just like, this looks beautiful, but it's just so devoid of any imagination.
Did you like the first part?
I liked the first one more, but I still thought it was. Okay. I had mostly the same things to say about it.
First part was my review was it was extremely good. मेरो लागि त्यो फिल्म हेर्न बित्तिकै wow, why are हुन्छ नि I am a human, I am a villain to this planet जस्तो लाग्यो थियो. Second वाला, I'm pretty sure they made it for a family movie where you could take kids. That's more of an. But it's take your children along with you and you have fun.
Sure, but I love Pixar movies. I'm a big fan of Pixar. I watch family stuff, but the story makes sense.
This was maybe made a little bit simpler so that the
world. On it. Yeah. Spent 10 years.
I think they made tinta redekhएको जस्तो लाग्यो and not aggressively trying to defend it. तर मलाई चाहिँ they're trying to make it a little bit simpler so that हुन्छ नि family or people in Asia could understand it. हुन्छ नि यो हाम्रो it's a financial thing नि त अब not complicate गरेर.
So yeah, but then given that, I don't know why you can't hire better artists to make interesting. I really came to see The Creatures. I'm I already know I'm not going to like this movie, story-wise. I just know it. I know it. That's fine. I want to see cool monsters. It's going to be underwater. I was like, okay, if I like the creatures, basically my favorite thing from the first one was all the creatures. They had some interesting creatures and plants and stuff. It was really kind of different kinds of dinosaurs, and you're seeing in 3D. It's almost like going to the zoo. That's really what I wanted. And I'm like, okay, they're going to go underwater. Deep sea animals are the craziest. They already look like aliens on Earth. I wonder what he's gonna do. It's gonna be giant crabs and what. And then it's okay, so this is a whale. It has 3 mouths instead of 1, and this is a shark, and it has 4 fins. And that's it. And then here's a jellyfish that's just a jellyfish, and a coral reef looks exactly like Earth. And I was just why don't you just do Earth then? I'll just go. Use these cameras, just show real Earth, do a nature doc. I'd rather have that than it just seemed so. I was bummed out by the visuals, and then the story is a complete mess, but I won't even get into that because we'll talk for
that. I agree. It's the same thing over. Kids get into trouble, save them. Kids get into trouble, same thing till the end.
Well, yeah, and the entire thing is based on the assumption that they want to get this Jake guy who's the main character. They want to kill him. Why? Because he's the leader of some resistance. At the very beginning of the movie, he leaves that resistance and a new leader is put there. So, but they still go after him. They're spending all this money and time to get this guy because he's trying to get revenge for the first movie. Well, your resistance is over here. There's a new leader. And they also say in the movie, oh, well, now we like this whale juice. We don't care about the flying rock stuff from the first one. This is the main thing now. So they should already be there. So they should have been going against the ocean people from the beginning then, right? If the villain's entire reason for being there is to get this whale juice or whatever, shouldn't they already be there? Wouldn't he be going into the line of fire? And then his whole thing is we have to leave the tribe to protect these people because it's selfish to stay here, because if we stay here, they're going to kill them, which I also was why would they? Okay. And then he just goes to another tribe, and they're like, "But won't your problems follow you?" And he's like, "No, it's cool, man. Like, don't worry about it. We're done with war." And it's like, dude, you know they're coming, and they're gonna kill these people now. And then they do, and it's like one character is like, "Soikurabanyo." It's just like, "You brought this here." I'm like, exactly. What the fuck are you doing? Get out of there. Like, go be. If you think that, just go away. Like, they shouldn't be killing all these people. Anyways, the story made no sense. We'll do another podcast.
Roasted $2 billion grossing movie.
It made a lot of money. Yeah. I still went to go see it, so they win, I guess. Anyways.
Well, what it takes for a person to be on the seats for like 3 hours straight is a lot of new, like visually it's important, you know, like these days.
Yeah.
Like for the commercial movies. That's why like every other big hit is a Avenger movie or like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it either, man. But whatever movie comes here in the cinemas is probably some superhero movie that I wouldn't prefer because I'm not really that much into superhero movies anyways.
Yeah, me neither. I think the last movie I had seen in the theater was Joker. And that's just because Joaquin Phoenix was in it, who I love. Wasn't a big fan of that movie either, but that was like the closest thing I'd seen in Nepal to something that's more like a festival type. I mean, that movie did go to like, I think it won Venice, which is okay. So there's finally something here. I wasn't that big of a fan of it, but yeah, it sucks in Nepal that we can't go see these cool, like Hereditary wasn't in the theater here.
Always.
And then when Midsommar was coming out, I was actually looking at plane tickets to go to India just to go see it in the theater. That's how much I wanted to see the movie in the theater as it was supposed to be seen.
Man. That's why I've not seen the Basanji ko final cut. I want to see it in a theater.
What cut do you remember how long ago you saw it?
About a year ago, maybe. Maybe I don't even remember.
Probably longer.
Maybe longer. Maybe longer. Maybe COVID time थियो कि जस्तो लाग्यो किनकि I remember it was like फुर्सद थियो. Rambo came over with this big hard drive.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you gotta in the theater, like, because you didn't get the 5.1 experience.
I always watch it in 5.1. मेरो त दुईटा सेट छ 5.1. One is in my bed with the projector. त्यहाँ नि 5.1.
Did you what? But
I watched it in 5.1.
You did?
Yeah. Maybe. And I had the 5.1 system. Maybe the stereo
I think what we had then was the binaural stereo mix, which is seems like the 5.1. I mean, it's like Shraul who did it. Shout out to Shraul, best sound in Nepal.
How long does it take? Your 5.1 ma lana like?
He spent quite dead bars just
like manipulate everything. Oh, like how we rotoscope the image. Like you just put this layer there, this layer there, this layer there.
Yeah, there was hundreds of layers.
Yeah,
like he really went all out. Everything's dubbed. It's all ADR. And then all the ambient sound, there's like, dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, in certain scenes, if you look at all of the Foley and everything. And then because the camera's always moving, everything's always panning. And so at any one time, there's like all of these different directions of sound, plus the room. He's got multiple room tones because the camera's moving through the rooms as well. So multiple levels.
This is not sync sound, eh?
It's not sync sound.
Because you couldn't possibly.
No, yeah.
The boom has to walk all the way. So proper.
Did you try?
No. Did you have a sound person? No.
So we had a sound person just basically to get on-set audio and
with the boom and everything.
No. Yeah, he did, but he basically it was pretty quick that we realized we weren't going to be able to use the boom because it was just going to keep being in the shot and
shadows are also
main thing, shadow keep coming in. We still ended up with shadows of the camera, which we had the VFX out. Like there's a lot more VFX in the movie than you'd think just from that.
Who did that?
That was Kundan Basnet and his team. Okay. He works for Incessant Rain. So I don't know everyone on his team, but they did a fantastic job, including one scene which I will not spoil, but the VFX were so good that apparently we almost didn't pass the film board, and it's Suraj because they thought we did something for real. Okay. And Suraj had to be like, this is VFX, and they didn't believe him at first. I think he might have even had to show the raw footage because they were just like, "Counts in Nepal has to VFX." They do Hollywood movies, like
there's a big, massive studio with hundreds of employees that's been doing Hollywood shit. And Netflix ko pray unreleased. So every time you go to Incessant Rain भन्ने छाउनीमा छ किरण दाई शारा लाइक एक्सलेन्ट गाई उहाँलाई चाहिँ नेपालमा डिज्नी गाई भनेर भन्छ सो हिज बिन वर्किङ फर डिज्नी फर लाइक डेकेड्स अनि यहाँ चाहिँ उहाँको ठुलो एउटा पोस्ट प्रडक्सनमा काम हुने एउटा ठाउँ छ जहाँ चाहिँ इट्स अ म्यासिभ स्टुडियो इट्स ब्युटिफुल इट्स लाइक भेरी वेल म्यानेज अनि त्यहाँ यु विल सी नेटफ्लिक्सको सिरिजहरू एडिट भइरहेको छ जुन चाहिँ इट्स कन रिलिज नेक्स्ट इयर तर यहाँ काम भइरहेको छ देयर वाज समथिङ त्यो अझसम्म आएको छैन क्या देयर वाज लाइक अ स्पेसमा भएको सिरिज अनि यहाँ चाहिँ त्यो डोरी मात्रै काटेर सुटहरू मिलाइदिइरहेको थियो कि
Tron maybe
आई डोन्ट नो मैले अस्ति
that was way back. I think they did do the lines on the Tron. Okay.
अनि त्यस्तै खालको त भिएफएक्सको काम सबै भइरहेको हुन्छ अनि एक्सलेन्स इफ एनी वान वान्ट्स टु डु समथिङ कोही फिल्म मेकर्स हु इज लुकिङ टु डु नेक्स्ट लेभल स्टफ त्यहाँ त हलिउड तपाईँले पाउनुहुन्छ जस्ट यु हेभ टु पे फर इट
Yeah, you gotta pay for it. But yeah, I feel like they're like Nepal's best kept secret in some way because, and I know I've seen that they're advertising more now to get more employees, but a lot of people don't know about this.
Like, a lot of people could just work there and learn something and come like हुन्छ
That's
नि
what
work process. सबैजनाले त्यही गरिरहेको छ जस्तो लाग्यो लाइक सानो सानो अरू पनि खोलिरहेको छ कि
Yeah,
इन्सेसन लाइक कम्पिटिसन
yeah,
we need that.
yeah.
It's
they're incredible.
really amazing. When does Basanji come out, man? You have
Well,
any plans? Like,
so
no promises, but like plans.
Suraj had last said it would be in April. I'm not sure if that's
In cinema halls,
fixed.
you know?
Yeah, in halls here, maybe outside, probably in Australia, Japan, I think, maybe UK and US, but I'm not sure. It will probably depend on how well it goes here. But I mean, it's already been released in a way, just because of all the film. I think we went to like 25 or 30 festivals, you know. So it's played like internationally, but yeah, it's not streaming anywhere. I really want to get it on some kind of streaming service, but like obviously we have to go to the theater before. So yeah, hopefully we get like a really large release. It's just going to be difficult to promote the movie just because it's so different. But it is like, in a way, it is a horror movie, and horror does do pretty well in Nepal. So we might be able to get, I think, a decent sized audience. I think if the people go, whoever actually goes on that first week will talk about it so much that we'll have a better week on our second week. That's what I've been explaining, because it will be such. I've noticed this because I've seen it now with different test audiences and stuff, and people that don't like artsy movies at all, they've never seen anything like this, and they'll leave it like, I don't really know what happened. I mean, I get this one thing, but I don't get it. But that was just crazy. And they're like, and I could see that they're excited. Like, and while they're watching it, I can see that they're actually getting closer and closer. You know, actually sitting in their seats. Which I've gone and seen movies like Thor and stuff, and even this Avatar, and looking around them. Most people are not like looking at the screen. They're on their phone. They're talking, eating their popcorn. Oh, that was fun, but not so engaged. They leave. They're like, I'm gonna play. Oh, damn, you know, not being like, what the fuck just happened? You know, that's what I want to be like after I see a movie. So I think so, and I've noticed that people that I really was surprised liked it. Almost everyone coming out having something to say, or just being like, that was crazy, you know. But you can tell they actually mean it. And I don't get it, but that was crazy. I've never been through, you know, feel like I was just on drugs or something. This is different. So I think if we can at least get a limited release, I think it will grow. I think we'll have word of mouth, people, and we'll have people repeating to go back and see it, because the second and third viewing will be much better, because a lot of the stuff that happens that's confusing at the beginning, once you see it once, the second time, oh, that's that guy, oh, that, you know, start putting the puzzle together, you know.
No, yeah, मलाई यसमा पनि I'm pretty sure त्यो eerie tone छ नि that you said there. मलाई चाहिँ grab गर्ने अर्को एउटा मुभी थियो नि, Killing of the
Sacred Deer. Oh, fuck yeah.
है त्यसको नि like eerie tone छ नि, like so disturbing, like I want to like not watch it, like it's like playing with my mind, but at the same time it goes on there.
The way all these characters are speaking.
What's this genre? Disturbing ne, like what I explain is like it's just like very disturbing but engaging movies at the same time.
Yeah, I would just say the catch-all term is experimental narrative.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you're still telling a story, and but you're changing everything about it. So like David Lynch movies are the same thing. So yeah, that's Yorgos Lanthimos. He did also The Lobster. Did you see that? That one is crazy too.
So many downloaded matcha.
But I think Killing of a Sacred Deer is my favorite I haven't seen many of his movies, but that and Dogtooth is also pretty crazy. But Killing a Sacred Deer I thought was fantastic. That kid, and he's eating like the spaghetti and just being like,
and it's like
there's something so off, right? Like just
framing quick. I don't know, and it's like something is off.
And that movie does a really interesting thing because I would say that's similar shooting technique to Hereditary, and that the camera feels like it knows what's going to happen. Just from the way it slowly kind of moves, and it will reframe for something before it happens. And it just feels like the reality of the movie is this brooding, scary thing, and that these characters are kind of helpless within it. And then you have like one character, like the kid, who's like in on it. Same thing in Hereditary. It's like camera's just kind of like, it's coming around this corner and looks at the phone, and then the phone rings. You know what I mean? Just that means like the movie knows that call is disturbing. It's something, and these characters are just, they look so helpless. You want to help them out. That movie has the same, but that's not like a horror. Killing a Sacred Deer isn't a horror, but you're just like, something bad is going to happen. This feels like everything's wrong. And these characters seem likable, but they're also speaking in such a strange way.
I watched it in a small tab, होइन आधी हेरेँ छाड्दै हेर्दिनँ अनि फेरि प्रोजेक्टरमा हेरेँ फेरि प्रोजेक्टरमा हेर्न हेरेपछि अब यसलाई राम्रो जस्टिस दिउँ.
Opening shot of the movie is like open heart surgery, I want to say. It's like starts out
the conversation is so weird. Watch ko bareमा कुरा गर्छ. The first scene ma he gets a watch gifted and it's like long shot अनि like okay what's happening, man? These two movies तल लिंक मा लेखिदिराख्नु पर्ला. Killing of the Sacred Deer, Hereditary, like compulsory हेर्नु पर्ने movie.
And I feel like you're saying Basanji is a similar kind of
it gives a eerie tone के कस्तो like हेर्नु मन छ हैन तर मलाई कस्तो just I can't. It's uncomfortable to the mind, but it's beautiful. Okay, you get my point. These both movies are like so.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah,
claustrophobic. I've been told a lot about this movie, and we did that really specifically. Also, not having open sky, having everything kind of blocking out the sky in Basanji.
Okay.
Just kind of so you never feel like
free.
Kind of and also I did a similar thing in Mango Pickle. I always wanted something kind of like, it kind of opens up at the end, but for most of it, because of the way Kathmandu is, you don't see this guy very much.
That's a very interesting take.
And it gives you this kind of like, something's always over you, and I was just kind of looking at it from, one thing I really liked from the beginning in my style was shooting on eyeline and keeping it on eyeline. And if I want a high angle of something, I make it so the character goes somewhere that you could see it from that eye line. And just keeping it grounded like that makes it, and this is just my style, and I like movies that do other things, but like if you cut to a drone shot once in the whole movie, like an aerial shot, even once, you would now have given the audience like a breather, like okay, we're a god in this world. It's like a god, like omniscient perspective. Even if you've only done it once, you've now given them like a rest. Like, okay, at any point we can kind of come back here, which we can never get in real life. If we get that in real life, we're on a plane, but we never get to just go like, oh, all my problems, and just, it would be an extremely calming experience. But it distances you literally from the character. The literal distance matters so much with your characters, I think. So I like shooting on eyeline, and then when I was shooting on eyeline in Nepal, and especially in Kathmandu, I noticed this. Okay, you barely get any sun. I mean, not just sun, but sky. Like the sky is like this jaggedy thing between two buildings. It's never all the way. And there's something that is very intimidating about that, and it's just going to create an atmosphere. And so that was the same thing that we did with Basanji. It starts out in a flat. He's in Chitwan. So we get a lot of sky at the beginning. It's almost to the horizon, not quite. And then as he gets into Kathmandu, it's getting more and more and more and more and more. And then you never get to get out of there until, well, I don't say anything. But I think that is like there's little things that you can do to trick people into, not trick them, but just create an environment that's already doing what you want it to do. that kind of disappears because they're focused on the story and they're not really thinking about these things. Like, why do I have this kind of vibe? And then obviously the way the sound is designed in Basanji, we don't have any score. That's all ambient sounds, like the fan in the room, whatever. That's all we used. Or like there's a lot of like...
You want the person to be there who's watching the movie, right?
Yeah. I want to feel like if you were having an anxiety attack or something and just some sound starts, everything's kind of fading out and one's kind of coming in, and that's like one that we used a lot in Basanji was the sound of the toilet refilling. After you flush a toilet, it's like that. It's going higher and higher. And so just listen to that and feel like that's like a soundtrack, And so if we have them in the bathroom and we can just have something's going on and suddenly that sound's coming in and now we're just slowly fading everything out a little bit. And that's coming up more and more and more. And, and so it just feels like, okay, I'm not hearing the movie score coming in with the violins and stuff. Because at some point that does remind the audience, I'm watching a movie, none of this is happening, I'm not here, it's okay. And I kind of want to avoid that as much as I can. Get them like really in there and really fuck with them. And then we did some other, Shrell came up with some amazing stuff about like using extremely low end and extremely high end audio that's barely audible and like, building that up through a scene or having them at the same time, which gives you a very kind of nauseating effect. You don't even really know. It's more of a physical feeling, especially if you're in a theater. It's not pleasant exactly, but it adds something to the movie. That's why people really are affected by it when it's coming out. Like, whoa, like okay. I think if you want to be scared and you want to have an intense experience, then you have to like. It shouldn't be just all fun and games. It should really grab you. That's why people go bungee jumping. I don't go bungee jumping, but like I imagine it's really fucking scary at first, and maybe uncomfortable, and then afterwards it's like, wow, that was awesome. So I feel like with a movie, if you're doing a comedy, romance thing, whatever. But if you're trying to scare people or something, like, then I think anything goes.
Yeah,
it's harmless at the end of the day.
It's the first memory it's like beautiful Chetwana place. Sarita is doing an amazing job. She's got this nostalgic expressions, and then my favorite actor in movie buddy. It's his brother. It's his brother. Fuck man, that guy's scared.
Okay, yeah, that's actually his uncle, Moksha Arigari.
Oh,
guy with the beard.
Yeah,
he's fantastic.
Oh,
he's a great actor. He's so underused, it's criminal. He's so good.
Dude, that guy scared me. I don't want to meet him. The character like fuck man. Oh shit,
he's back. Yeah.
Shit.
See, and that's probably from like real like if that's my
like, I could relate there's like a die or a bully or like someone that's gonna like do something. Like,
you're doing this to me in front of everybody and I got you all this stuff. That was really based on like real not from me, but my Nepali friends and Gaurav and Suraj and stuff that
I could relate. Like I was like, how could Ian make me relate to this Nepali relationship that he's never had?
Because I haven't had it, but I have been witness to it. It's almost better for me. It's almost an advantage as a filmmaker that I could just see that and be like, whoa, that's what that looks like. Because maybe they don't. Oh yeah, he's my brother. He loves me and something like. He's like really scary. Like you looked scared and like he's like yelling at you. I thought he was like a bully. It's like, oh, that's your uncle. Like, wow, okay, that's really intense. And then I was like thinking, okay, that's just this family, And then I meet another family, and then another one, and another friend, and everyone has some kind of die that just, or that comes in and just yells and leaves, and so. Yeah, I noticed.
No, like I just realized how much I've learned from you just from like spending some time, because the way you look, like even in the audition, I was trying to convince you to get the other guy, which actually he's like one of the best actors in the Mandalama. He ended up being your Zachary.
Oh, Ankit,
I know.
Yeah.
So I was trying to convince कि उसलाई एकदमै like मलाई नि भने मलाई please एउटा role चाहियो भनेर त्यहाँको audition अगाडि भनेको थियो. त्यतिखेर त I was working around Mandala. I also went for an acting class there just to know what it is like. Sab actor la chinna. Ani that you wanted something else रहेछ. So thought process बुझ्दाखेरि पनि the sky को कुरा it's something beautiful.
It's just like even like Ankit's face versus Moksha's face. It's just like they're giving something extra that's outside of their acting ability, just their presence, you know. And when I saw Moksha for the brother character, it was just like, that's him. And then when I saw Ankit, like, I imagined him in this Jackery thing. It was like he just had such a, and he kills it in that role. He's
उसको energy, like theater ma I've seen his dramas, you know. Every time, यस्तो बवाल छ the actor, you know, Ankit. Every time he can sweat when he wants, के bro. He can sweat when he wants, होइन. त्यो एउटा जार भन्ने थियो 2014 मा आथ्यो. And there is this जार भनेको चाहिँ if कसैले उसको बुढी लिएर गयो भने हैन, एउटा केटाले अर्को, लाइक सरी अलिकति एक्सप्लेन गर्छु हैन. एउटा केटा छ, अर्को केटा छ, अनि अर्कोको बुढी लिएर गयो भने लाइक द पर्सन जसको बुढी गयो नि उसको राइट हुन्छ कि खुकुरी लिएर खेदेर काट्न पाउँछ के. अनि यु हेभ टु रन. सो इफ यु क्यान आउटरन द गाई विथ द खुकुरी देन भाग्नु पाउँछ. एकदम इन्ट्रेस्टिङ थियो. इट्स एक्चुअली अ थिङ इन नेपाल के.
युट्युबमा छ
नो यो थिएटरमा गरेको. युट्युबमा आउँदै, लाइक नो मुभी चाहिँ आउँदैछ.
यो रिसेन्ट प्रोजेक्ट हो.
2014 मा गरेको अङ्कितहरूको ड्रामा हो के.
हेर्नुपर्छ.
अनि ड्रामाको भिडियो त छ होला, तर there's a movie. There's a movie. Nikam wanted to do it. The one छड्के गर्दा. Nikam wanted to do jar, हैन. तर I think someone else has done it with Saugat. Anup Vikram. त्यसको ट्रेलर छ.
You're talking about Ankit in theater. This is a drama. Oh, okay.
Okay, so अनि एउटा टाइम छ जहाँ चाहिँ एउटा इन्टेन्स सिन छ. अनि ठ्याक्कै त्यो डायलग भनिन्छ, ठ्याक्कै पसिना चुहिन्छ ब्रोले त. एभ्री टाइम I watched it 3 times. अस्ति सरी दाइसँग कुरा भएको थियो नि जार भन्ने के त. सो त्यो ठाउँमा ठक्क पसिना आउने ठाउँमा पसिना निकालिदिन्छ. अब फक एभ्रिथिङ एल्स म्यान. नेपालमा एक्टर चाहिँ छ.
He was like, we practiced, like we did rehearsals with everybody for like screen tested for everybody except him. And I felt kind of, and it was, I was always a little worried about it, but because we screen tested even small roles, like someone just that has a one line that we did a screen test. But with him, he was just like, I think he said his dad or something like is a Jackery or like is friends with a Jack or something like that. And he was just so intense. Like if I do it now, it'll ruin it. And you just have to trust me. And like, I'm practicing on my own, but I don't want you to see it yet. Just trust me. It's going to be like, this is my process and stuff. And we're kind of looking at each other like, yeah, but how can we like put you on set if we haven't seen it? Like that's just not, it goes against what I believe. But there's just something about the way he was saying it. I was like, okay, dude, all right, we'll try that. And I'm like, and then it's getting to the day, and it's the it's the morning of, and he's still Ankit, just walking around, very chill, and then he puts the costume on, and then Ankit is gone. He was Zachary and we were ready for, and we were waiting for Fog for a while for another shot, but he was already in costume. There's a good like 5 hours where he wasn't shooting from when he put the costume on, where he was he was in character the whole day. So people are like, having the, kitchen team food and stuff, and he's like going up to people and like doing shit, and everyone was kind of like freaked out by it, but I was like, this guy's amazing. Okay, I made the right. Because I was still a little worried at the end, like, I don't know, can he do it? Like, and yeah,
and that's a lot of energy. You like to have that. Acting on the energy to and like no one could shiver for a long time. I'm pretty sure if someone has tried this aggressive acting, it energy jans.
He was kind of, it was like some force had come into him, especially when he was doing the scene. But and every take was different in another cool way. And there was no, I wouldn't say there was like technically a better one than another one, but it was just always some kind of new stream of consciousness, interesting thing. And so we really had to base it on how did the other actors do or how the camera was, because it was just like everything he did was really fantastic and just unique. And yeah, he never ran out of energy. I was really surprised. We did a lot of takes, and he didn't ask for a break because he was in character as well. He was, he would come out of it to be like, oh yeah, you don't want me to do that? Okay. And then like right back into it. It wasn't like he was full doing the method thing, but it was as close to like real method that I've seen. And it was just, yeah. And he definitely, he wanted a bigger role, I know, like, cause, and he deserves bigger. I don't know. He's another one that's like criminally underused in Nepal. Like he really should be getting, like, I don't know why this guy's not like everywhere, but
because like as soon as you want to make a movie, the theaters will ask, okay, who's in it? Like, do we have Saugat, Bipin, Who do you have?
Right.
So that's the thing that's not giving them the chance. It's all business down. It's all business.
It is. I just feel like for supporting roles we need then, because I get that, like you need to make your money back. I mean, every film industry in the world is like that, but one, independent movies need to be better funded, so we find these new people, and then in the mainstream movies, you don't always need an all-star cast. Like okay, you got your main guy or the second lead is somebody big. And then for the rest, really do a tireless audition. Yeah. I find that I think a lot of people just don't want to spend the time to actually do a real audition and do screen tests like over and over again. If someone just comes in an audition, maybe they've got something there, but they didn't show it in that one time, and you can't just be like, oh, well, I didn't like that. It's like there's something there. Let's bring them back. Let's see what they've got. Maybe what was in their head about the character is nothing like what you wanted. Doesn't mean it's bad, but you can see. So that's what we did with Basanji and Mango Pickle. Actually, it was like one. I keep the camera rolling from the beginning, and we bring them in, and we just have like a little interview that's just them, like us right now. Film that. Then based on that conversation, then you were there for this. Yeah, you remember that. So then we'd look at both tapes. Like, what are they like real life? What did they do here? And then we'd bring people back based on that and really narrow down the selection. That's how you find people that no one's heard of. They're like, why did you go with this guy? Asim, who played the main character in Basanji, he'd never acted before. And we're like, why would you do that? Like, well, he's the one that the process picked. Like, we had like 20 guys that were potentials, and then down to 10, But if we had just gone from the very first thing that they did, then none of them would have gone picked. I probably would have picked somebody that's maybe a little bit better known, but that's not what If you just do the work, like I feel bad for actors here because a lot of them have way more to offer than people know,
and they have less things to work on. बिचरा अलिकति drama भयो भने मात्र पैसा आउने हो, नत्र everyone's in the चिया पसल talking about what they could do. It's अनि they've been trained यसरी कि बिहान 7 देखि बेलुका 6-7 सम्म 12 आवरको ट्रेनिङहरू उनीहरूलाई गऱ्यो भने पनि उनीहरू त्यो चिउरा चौजो खाएर बसेर नो कम्प्लेन्समा यस्तो मेहनतले काम गर्छ क्या. सो इफ एनीवन्स मेकिङ अ सर्ट फिल्म जस्ट चेक आउट गियो छ शिल्पी अलिकति टन्नै थिएटर मण्डला नै छ होइन. देयर सो मेनी थिएटर्स द्याट यु कुड probably hire them in a very less amount who need money and work rather than अरू कुराहरू. प्रपर एक्टर साथीहरूलाई खेलाउनु भन्दा अब एक्टरलाई पनि भयो, उसलाई नि कोलाबोरेसन भयो, लाइक एक्सपोजर चाहियो होइन. यति धेरै ट्यालेन्ट्सहरू छ. लाइक नेपाल त यसै पनि आर्ट प्लेस हो. लाइक पिपल हेभ बिन डुइङ ड्रामा, स्ट्रिट ड्रामाज फ्रम लाइक टाइम अननोन कहिलेदेखि गरिरहेको छ. त्यो जिन्समा छ क्या त्यो एक्टिङ गर्ने पनि. मान्छेहरूले त्यो फिल्म हेर्छ, नेपालीलाई एक्टिङ गर्न आउँदैन भन्छ, तर like there's so many people who deserve the limelight.
Yeah, and then what you just brought up, that brings up another thing to me, which is there are so many good actors that you can't put them all because you're only going to have limited roles. But what I see a lot of the time in the industry here is the extras or what are called key extra roles. Which is like they have a speaking part maybe, or they have something specific that they have to do. The waiter that has to come bring the tea. They just find some random person, or my brother could do that, or my friend could do that.
Oh, I've shot movie जहाँ चाहिँ बाटोबाट लिएर आइरहेछ त्यो लाइट्सम्यानहरू हुन्छ नि, त्यहाँ भेरी क्लेभर. आउनु तपाईँलाई 500 रुपैयाँ दिन्छु अरू खाजा खाना दिन्छु भने बाटोबाट टिपेर लिएर आउँछ.
But then you say action and suddenly they're freezing up and they're being really awkward and not really treated. They're inexperienced most of the time. They say, this guy that owns this shop that I go to, he'd be perfect for this role. And I'm like, have you tried? Have you done a little screen test? Oh no, let's just bring him on the day of the shoot when you've got lights up, you're spending money. He's going to
come in a suit.
He's going to come all dressed up and then and just do the worst acting you've ever seen in your life. And then you realize, okay, we've got these big movie stars here that are sharing the screen with this guy that just never acted before, and everyone just kind of assumed, it's not a big part. It's like everything's a big part. If it's in the frame, it can ruin the shot. Like one bad extra can ruin an entire shot. And that's why for Basanji, okay, we got our main roles, but then for every supporting role and all of these small key extra roles and everything, we put real actors there. And we brought them back from the audition, and it's like, okay, I know that you don't have a line here, but we want to see how you do as the owner of the tea shop or whatever it is. And that's what gives, you know, there's certain, like, there's like, you know, a teacher role that has like, you know, 4 lines, but we went through like 3 different actors to get that guy, just a tiny bit, but it's something that adds to the.
त्यो गर्नुपर्छ नत्र त्यो वास्ता नगरेर न त अनि स्पेशली नेपाली फिल्म इन्डस्ट्री त्यहाँ अब अलिकति लाइक युआर मेकिङ अ मुभी पिपल आर गिभिङ देयर टाइम 2-3 घन्टाको छ आउन 1 घन्टा लाग्ला जान 1 घन्टा लाग्ला इट्स लाइक हाफ डे को कमिटमेन्ट हो कि जस्ट गो वाच अ मुभी spend money there hard on cash हो नि त so if they are spending their time they individually सबैले आफ्नो टाइमै दिनु पर्यो मनी हाल्नु पर्यो भने like as a maker you have to make sure that every shot every frame has been like really hard worked upon अनि त्यो नगरेपछि त हाम्रो इज्जत गइरहेको नि त
I like how you say we owe the audience that मलाई पनि त्यही feel भयो it's like I'm not going to say any names or anything because you know there's a lot of people that are guilty of this but if you're making a movie and you don't make it as the best you can it's like you know, at somebody else's wedding and you take the mic and you start talking, you don't have a speech. I know, and everyone's like, why did he take the mic? You know, why if he didn't have something good to say, then like why didn't he leave the mic? You know, like, oh, everyone listen to me. It's like, watch my movie for 2 hours and don't talk. And pay your money to come see it. And then I don't even really care about like and I'm just like, oh, you know, whatever with the movie. It feels kind of rude to me. Like I think you're expecting people to stop everything they're doing, like you said, sit and turn their phone off and and step into this world.
I
and
think
then you have an obligation to them to at least you know try to
make the best possible effort.
Yeah.
That's why it's getting harder and harder to bring people into the theater, film hall ma.
Yeah,
because like. मान्छेले वास्ता नगर्दा लाइक देयर इज अ गाउँवाला सर्ट जहाँ चाहिँ घाँस काट्दैछ दिदी उता गयो मात्र भन्ने मान्छेको नि एक्टिङ खुस्क्यो भने नाउ यु नो कि अब यो त फिल्म हो नि त नेपाली फिल्म हो भनेर यु कम ब्याक टु द्याट रियालिटी अनि इन्ट्रेस्ट जाँदै गर्छ यु हेभ टु बी फुल्ली इङ्गेज नि
त्यही त and one small thing that you compromise on can ruin the whole and they'll say things like, oh, people won't care about that. It's like maybe they don't know they care about it, but they do. You take anyone, people aren't stupid, you know, I wouldn't say most people are not stupid. They can watch a movie and tell within 5 seconds if it had a big budget or if it had a small budget or if it was shot by someone that knows what they're doing or not. And they just have an innate, and they won't be able to say why. It's because of the cinematography, it's because the lighting is off, the editing is strange, or the acting's bad. They'll just be like, it's just bad. They'll say that. They won't. And
मलाई त पुगिसक्यो नेपाली cinematography like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe it was like, okay, up to par was cinematography body. But now you look at it, it's just like a music video. Okay? Every movie looks like kind of like a polished music video that would come trending number 1 in YouTube. Too polished, no shadows.
Yeah.
That's
lighting for why are there no shadows? Shadows are what paints
beautiful
them.
Man.
Yeah. Let's and yeah,
reality
I don't want to be like throwing shade or anything.
It's fantasized. अनि ठीक छ त्यस्तो audience पनि छ.
I also think it's like there's a mentality that I've seen a bit where it's like if we've got this equipment, like let's say if you have the lights, you have them for the whole shoot, right? So let's just use them. Let's put them all up. Let's make this look more like a film set. Let's get them all going, you know? And it's kind of like that. It's like, you know, everything is turned all the way up, and then it's like it goes to the color stage, and they're like, well, we're paying for color, so let's get more color. Let's get the red redder, and the blue bluer, and the green greener, and everything. So suddenly, and it's like, okay, this isn't a wedding. This is a movie. It's not like, oh, let's get more flowers and more flowers. It's gonna be better. This is you know, actually the less is more kind of concept. I feel like there's a lot of people that still do not understand that. I think it probably comes down from the producer's side. Like, I paid for this. I want to see it. You know, it's almost like with the acting as well. I paid for this big actor. Act more. You know, you just look ulchi. You know, he just goes, oh, I'll just have one coffee. Like, be like, sir, can I have your coffee? Ectomito. You know, like, okay, whatever. Like, fill me. It's kind of like I want more acting from you and more story and more music. You know, you go to the soundtrack, more music and more sound. And then at the end, it's just it's oversaturated. It doesn't, you don't know, more camera angles. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's most people's fault. I think there's the great actors here, great directors here.
Definitely great cinematographers too. Who could do Netflix stuff. I know people who could do.
And I think it comes from the top down. Just not giving people enough creative freedom to and just this pressure, constant pressure that the movie must make money. Scared money doesn't make money. That's like, if you're not going to take a risk, then the chances of you actually really making a lot of money is very small. If you're just trying to copy KFC, like then the best you could do is like a little less than KFC. I mean, you're not going to even tie KFC because it's something that has already existed. But when KFC came out, whatever, they didn't have a fast food restaurant that served that kind of. I don't like KFC. But I mean, once in a while. But anyway, you get my point. Yeah. It's like KFC did well because it was KFC, And so to do your own isn't to do KFC, it's to do something else. Like do a falafel place that's never been done, or you know what I mean? Just switch it up. Like, but if you're only chasing something that you've already seen, then like the best you could do is even like tie that thing. You're not gonna. If you do something original, you can make a surprising amount of money.
Yeah.
I want to say, and I feel really bad saying I didn't see this movie, but I think I was shooting at the time. But this movie Ama, that has Mithila Sharma and Sarita D, I want to say that did extremely well in the. As far as Nepal's film industry context did, that was in the theaters for a while. And you look at the poster of that, and it's like a girl with half her hair shaved off or something, and she's crying, and it's like no bright colors, and like and I saw the trailer, and it did not look like a typical everything's all good movie, but that did crazy well. And the reason it did that is because it's something new. It might have tanked. I'm sure they got told the whole time this isn't going to make any money, but.
Yeah, not that most movie posters look like YouTube ko thumbnail नै. हाम्रो YouTube को thumbnail everyone's head there.
It's the Gosala just dekhcha hai. It looks like
YouTube ko thumbnail la suaउँछ. It's a clickbait thing, but a poster ko लागि maybe just like subtle.
More faces. More faces. We need more heads, more colors. Just so it's like every movie is like 1,000 heads. Come to our movie. We have faces. We know you want faces, and we've got colors. Here are all the faces that you like, and and then it's called something like chili powder or something. It's like, okay, what? Okay, guys, like I know there's better stories here. We all know it, and you meet people and that even do movies like this, and they all want to do something else. Like but Nepalma yo chalcha, हैन Nepalma can't just do artistic movie. I mean, Gana Monza, Ian, I get you. I want to do that too. We'll do it later, but everyone's saying we'll do it later. And I think, and it's probably not most people's fault. It's the producers don't want to pay for these cooler movies, except for like Suraj, who I don't know exactly how, in which way, but we got Basanji funded as an experimental thing, and depending on how well that does. Producers, I'm sure, will pay for these things if they see it makes money. I don't think they care. They want to make the money, right?
It's all about the money.
So they're like, these things made money, do that. I mean, I wish they would want to take more of a risk, but it's going to take one of them taking a risk, and then the rest will be like, do that. But also the problem with that is then they're just going to copy whatever, that'll become unoriginal again. But I don't know.
But it's a beautiful time for a Nepali filmmaker to come up, step up the game. किनकि यस्तो चाहिरहेछ नि त. It's been a while since we've seen. मैले Butterfly on a Window Pane, ऐना झ्यालको पुतली भन्ने एउटा movie छ. That is really good.
I've heard that.
It's really good. You'll like it.
Recommend it to me.
किनकि हामीले whenever you watch a Nepali film, I have it on the back of my mind कि बिचराले यति बजेटमा यसरी यो बनाओ. That you have to have a filter on your mind के अलिकति भए पनि लाइक उसले यतिको गर्नु राम्रो हो भने जस्तो हुनु पर्यो नि त. सो उसले गएर months and months spend गरेर त्यहीको लोकल मान्छेलाई एक्टिङ गर्नु, नन एक्टर्सलाई लिएर, you love it. It came into the cinemas.
Wow, that sounds great. Yeah.
It came to the cinemas. It's just a feel चाहिँ it's Children of Heaven खालको.
Okay, so I was gonna say the neorealism, the kind of Irani neorealism. Yeah, that's the other genre that goes that does
like sweet movies.
Film festival सब चल्छ यस्तो गरेपछि. Do the neorealism thing in Nepal. I mean, you know, God bless them. I love neorealism anyways. But yeah, it's funny that have you noticed that is the other genre? You have the masala movie, and then you've got the Nepali neorealism. Has to be shot in a village, working class people, working class conflict.
But this one's good.
This one's good. I'm not, and they are good. I'm not saying that they're bad. It's just, it's become like the only other. It's like here are your two games in town.
I'm kind of tired with the trailers. With the great actor who's now without makeup and
the story is like, oh, this kid loses his football at the beginning, and it's the only football in the village, and then he's walking to the other village to find the football, and then he meets an old man, and then at the end they make a football, or something, you know, and then that's the story. It's cute and nice, and I think they're great films mostly. It's just, it sucks that it's so constricted that it seems to be like if you're a filmmaker in Nepal, you can do that or you can do the masala thing. And if you want to do something else, it's going to be very difficult to get any funding. Just like, okay, there's so many different kinds of movies and even things that aren't a genre, you know, and genre breaking things that we could be doing. And I know people that have cool scripts. And it's like, how about Callens is doing? You know, there was a short movie. I didn't see it, but one of my friends told me about it. That I want to say it was in like KIMF last year or something, where it was like a film school and the student like writes some kind of interesting thing and he's like, no, make the people more poor. What? All right, no shoes. Remove the tuppo. They don't have shoes. Like, oh, he has a TV. Make it just a drawing on the wall, or like make them more poor. This is not going to go anywhere. Like, or do the masala thing. And it's like the movie kind of like, I don't know, made fun of this whole thing, because it seems to be true, you know. And I'm not throwing shade on any of these filmmakers. I think there's like, you know, these people that are making these stuff and going to Toronto Film Festival, Sundance and stuff. It's great movies. I just think that there should be more genres that get the funding. I drink like 3 cups of coffee. I need to go to the bathroom. Do we edit this, or is this part of it?
We can take a quick break.
Yeah? All right. We'll be right back after these short messages.
But ठिक छ and like I like your thought process. अनि मलाई थाहा छ कि अब मैले फिल्म बनाएँ first I let you read the script and humble me down. मेरो त्यो एउटा भ्लग थियो नि बच्चालाई फोटो पुऱ्याउने हो, त्यसमा सबैको फेभरेट हो त्यो इएन इज द ओन्ली पर्सन जसले चाहिँ त्यसमा पनि लाइक ओके मेबी अलिकति बढी चिजी भयो हुन्छ नि तर आई लाइक यु अनेस्टी देयर निड्स टु बी समवन कन्स्ट्रक्टिभ क्रिटिसिजम हुनु पऱ्यो नि ब्रो. दिस निड्स समवन हु इज लाइक आफ्नो ओपिनियन दिइरहेको छ, नट लाइक बुलशिटिङ इन इट आई हेट इट कज आई हेट इट आई डोन्ट लाइक हिज फेस होइन नि त.
That's not helpful.
That's not helpful. Like,
yeah, but it's also not helpful to just be like, you're great.
Yeah. Exactly. Alikati, like, what makes me better भन्ने कुरा हो नि त. What makes me better?
But yeah, I don't like to be
rude.
Or not. If I'm just trying, I would not just try to find something negative to say, which I see people that, you know, they're like, oh, he's very critical and stuff, but you realize they're searching for things to not like. I don't think I do that. If I really just started something, finished it, didn't have anything.
No, your criticism makes sense. Yeah. So, okay, Avatar ko bhanne bela ni okay, okay, bhayo ni ta. It's not like hate.
If it's I'm trying to go into the experience with an open mind, and then if things bother me, then and a lot of the times, if everything's bothering me, then I'm not going to go talk to the filmmaker and be like, you should change all of these things, because I basically say like, don't make the movies you're making, you know. But if it's someone, you know, like that, like. I don't remember what I said to you, but if I'm saying it at all, it probably means that like, okay, I like everything else, and these small things bother me that can bring it to the next level. For, you know, so that's why, you know, if you get my criticism,
I wasn't offended of it. मलाई okay, यस्तो audience छ जसलाई चाहिँ म maybe त्यो त म rectify गर्न सक्दिनँ, just a vlog, like मलाई त मतलब छैन, तर maybe I want to like impress this dude and like show him something that त्यस्तो हुन्छ नि त.
I feel like I remember like I like the idea of it. Yeah, you took a photo.
And then you went back 15 man.
And then you went on a little adventure to bring the photo to them. Yeah, there's like, okay, this said it had a story more than I find most blogs to be unwatchable, just because it's just like a day in the life, and I'm just like, unless you're crazy interesting life, I'm kind of like, this is kind of a boring documentary. This felt like, you know, it was kind of like a neo-realist kind of story. One man's bringing one photo to this girl, you know, and along the way, but you know, then someone's gonna, you know, then if it was a movie, then you know you're gonna have a flat tire, and then some interesting guy's gonna help you, and they're gonna tell about their life, whatever. But there's some kind of through line there. I remember really liking the first thing, and then Anil,
that's when
Yamabuddha,
it really started. Oh yeah,
was this Visit Nepal?
yeah.
Was it Visit Nepal 2020 or something? You just eviscerated it. It was so funny. I was dying laughing. And then I showed Anil Yamabuddha. He loved that. He watched it so many times. So, who's this guy, man? He's fucking amazing. Should be like, he was like saying, oh, you should be like, Jimmy Kimmel or something like that. Like the humor was so.
This was like way before anyone knew me. Like मेरो 1000 subscriber पनि थिएन. So I got hooked up with Yamabuddha from him. Like all of a sudden म मेरो भ्यान चलाएर एउटा सुटबाट फर्किरहेको छु. टिङ 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 मेसेज आयो. Facebook मात्र थियो त्यतिखेर, इन्स्टाग्राम चलाउँदैन थिएँ म. Like there's like 50 friend requests. Dude, some हुन्छ नि legit celebrity has shared my.
Oh yeah, he shared it.
मलाई थाहा थियो त्यो कसैले share गरेको थियो. And all of a sudden Ian calls up and says, oh Sisan, like Yamabuddha wants to talk to you, and he's like, Yamabuddha was like, okay bro, like.
Did you guys end up chilling? Did you ever meet? Yeah, you did? Okay, good.
We actually had some plans. Usko त्यो dance वाला त्यो video, like he wanted to utilize my हुन्छ नि मेरो shooting and editing. He wanted to utilize and make something out of. He did something beautiful for hip hop. I know. उ नभइदा maybe
100%.
Like अलि time लाग्थ्यो होला यति साह्रो होइन. And he wanted something similar for singers and dancers. So we were planning something until the tragedy happened.
Yeah.
How was you knew him like really well, I know. How was he?
Yeah.
Because he always had this thing, and I think he kind of inspired me to, like, if I am famous, like, doesn't mean that I am more talented. If I'm more famous than someone, it doesn't mean I accept more popular, so Sisan Bani, our name is popular.
Oh yeah, I've heard of you, dude. Yeah.
So every filmmaker, new filmmaker, or everyone I see is so much more talented. And I think like God त भन्दिनँ तर like luckले यो ठाउँमा मलाई पुरा छ. Now my सबभन्दा मेरो ठाउँको utilization कसरी होस्, to have talented people come in, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a vlog, and let people know about them. That's the least I could do. Because they're crazy talented people. Like people have been waiting for my movie. They're like, I could name 10-20 people just movies actually kurna parne ho mo kuriरहेछु के. You get a point?
Hey,
so nice. I like that from him, because he could make much more many songs होला. तर सबै rappers हरूलाई एउटा ठाउँ ल्याउनु is, you know how difficult it is. It's like I can't attempt bringing doing a rap thing. So he did that for everyone. Did it for the community. So too inspiring, bro. And that's why I think he is regarded as the legend. Everyone loves him. मलाई त्यस्तो हुनु, so that like I want to be someone जसले चाहिँ सबैजनालाई एउटा ठाउँ ल्याएर एउटा बाटो देखाउने हो कि के गर्ने हो, ठाउँमा ल्याइदिने मात्रै. They have the talent नि. You get a point.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because when he wanted to start Raw Bars and stuff, I was telling him like, why? Like, okay, battle rap. Like, I was a huge hip hop fan like my whole life, but I didn't really watch. The whole battle rapping scene is kind of a niche thing, you know. It's not really they have their own stars and stuff, and it's a big deal. They have really strong following, but it's different than the just music industry side of things. Generally, there's no music, even no beat playing, you know, in a rap battle. And I was like, why don't you just work on your next album? Like, you're a rapper, like. And a bunch of these rappers like all talk shit about you and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of, not talk shit, but you know how there's whoever's the top person, you're going to get a lot of,
man.
Yeah, it's inevitable that there's going to be a lot of, you know, everyone wants to be the top person, right? So I was like, why do you
even care?
Why do you care? Yeah, why are you giving them this place, you know? And also, I just didn't see it. I didn't see what it was going to, he knew what it was going to be. And thank God he didn't listen. All of his like best ideas were things that he didn't listen to me on. I was saying, don't do this, dude. And then so like that. The other one would be he did this thing called Sprite Clear Bowl. Did you ever hear about? This is how Kavi G got discovered.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a show as well.
This was the craziest idea. He was like, dude, I'm gonna go to like all these major cities in Nepal and just let anyone battle me that wants to. If they sign up, they can battle me. And Sprite's gonna sponsor it, and you know, and Srizana, my girlfriend, is gonna host it, and I'm like, this is the worst idea I've ever heard. You want to just go back, like you were that confident? He's like, yeah, man, I can do it. Like, yeah, I've been really working on my freestyle. I can do it. I'm like, I don't care if you can do it. Like some kid's gonna be like, I can battle Yamabuda. They're gonna write all night, all day. Like you're gonna have everyone's best game, and you don't know who's coming and what. You might look bad. You know, that's what I was worried for him. You know, I didn't want it to blow up in his face. He's like, I don't care if someone does better, then great. Like I want good rappers.
Wow.
And I'm like, so like, I was like for him, trying to protect his ego, which he just didn't really have. You know, like. So you're so selfless about it. And then, this is a story. I don't know if people know about this. Like, Kaviji never, like, brings this up because I think he just doesn't want to brag and stuff. But, that's what, like, I got a call from Anil and from Shrizana the day that Kaviji, he was, like, I want to say 15 or 14. And, like, they just call him, this kid is fucking amazing. Like, we're bringing him with us. Like, he was in Dharan. He's like, he's on the bus with us, right? We're going to bring him to Kathmandu. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, he's going to be the next big thing. Yamabuda, Anil, he's the only one, like, I mean, there was a lot of rappers he liked, but the way he was talking about Kaviji was like, this guy. And I see him, and he's this tiny guy at that time. And then like, hey, Dai. Namaste, like low voice, like whoa, where'd that voice come from? Like he just looked like a kid, but he had the voice of like a 40-year-old. And so then so he stayed at Anil's house. Anil brought him around, to meet industry people because at that time
this is a normal thing. People staying at his house. Or
sure, no, not. I mean, I would stay at his house. I mean, his friends.
Kavi is an exception.
To bring bye, like you're my bye now. Like I'm gonna teach you. You're gonna be the next me, basically. Like he was like saying like that. And like from the beginning, I'm like, okay, he's good, and he's like, dude, he can rap in Sanskrit, man. He can rap in like the vocabulary he has. He has an in-depth knowledge of Nepali poetry, and Anil also like poetry, like. So he just was like, this kid's gonna be great. Take care of this kid, And so when Anil passed, we called him and said like, if you ever want to come to Kathmandu, you come stay with us, me and Shrizana. So, and that's what ended up happening. And so we've been kind of like, if it hadn't been for Anil doing that, then I would never know. We would probably none of us would know who Kaviji was. He had a different name at the time, Nepron. He was young. He definitely would have done something, but like Anil really like just out of the goodness of his heart, just like and caring about the scene, was like, this kid has so much talent. And in Dharan, I mean, I don't know, probably now they have a much more recording studios and producers, but so he's like, this kid deserves more than this. Come, brought him for with no profit to him. It wasn't like, you're going to be on my label or anything. Nothing. So yeah,
that like even the really? YouTube thing, like Ulay share calling me up, meeting me, like validation चाहिन्छ के मान्छेलाई, like someone's like giving a pat on your back. उसलाई त के आउने वाला थिएन नि, अनि he saw something in me, he wanted to work, बिचमा अब the thing अब.
Same my work with him, like I had shown him some stuff I was doing in film school and clips from Mango Pickle, and he just liked what I was doing, so that's why we worked together, and he wanted people to see my videos,
So that's why you put the Mango Pickle thing in the raw bars.
Yeah. And we were we sponsored that at some point, whatever budget I had at that time. But yeah, he was saying then like, this is a really good investment, man. It's like burned in the video. It'll always be there. And I'm just like, and the raw bars was still kind of starting. But I was like, I wanted to support him. He wanted to support me. So it was kind of like and it ended up being like very good for me, because that's how most people knew about the movie, was from these raw bars, like little clips. They were very strange little like vignettes at the beginning of the battles.
Wow, now it all links up, because Kaviji sings for Dot Fortsani, who get for Mango Pickle.
For Mango Pickle.
We went one full circle.
It's crazy, yeah. That he ended up that was just like another, and Mango Pickle, it says dedicated to Anil Adhikari. I think that's when we were coming back around. It's just like, he had such a presence in this, even though we shot most of the movie before I knew him, but still, he was just like, he was a driving force, like in our whole group of friends, and all the people I got to meet because of him.
He's like big, and he didn't have to do it. 1 million followers in Facebook in 2011. 11 to 12 million followers back up, bro.
That was crazy.
Far ahead of his game.
Really understood how to promote. It was
far
really
ahead his game.
smart.
Like I think at one point the highest followed Nepali ever.
And that shout outs to Adil as well. From Joe Songs Nepal. They were like really good friends.
I know.
They would always be in the kind of lab.
I work with them Songs Nepal पनि मजाले काम गरेछु मैले. So they were ahead of the game. के Facebook मा sponsor गर्ने भनेको त अहिले बल्ल मान्छेले सिकिरहेछ. 2009 10 11 I don't know which year तर 11 भन्दा अगाडि नै होला. त्यतिखेर नै like crazy भइसक्यो त.
अरू केही थिएन त्यो बेला. They were the only. I didn't even understand. How do you promote on Facebook? You know, I was having that question back then. Now it's like obvious stuff.
It was like, this is the future, man. Like every time bhetyo bhani, Yama was like hyped. He was like, fucking, let's do this with everyone. Sanga kehi na kehi plans.
Yeah, he was.
I can't imagine kiki garthyo होला त्यो मान्छे.
He would have like, I mean, things were. He would get like 10 plans in a day. It was very hard to keep up with him. He was very manic. And then like, so like out of those 10 plans, like 2 of them would happen, but they would really happen, you know? And then based on that, then he'd have another 10 plans the next day, you know? But like but you couldn't just say, oh, this guy's full of shit, because he'd say something and then it wouldn't work out. But then he would then like hit gold all the time because he just worked so hard. But he was whatever he did was never like going to be enough. There's always something else he was going to do that was even better than that. Like, okay, raw bars, that's going well. So we're going to go from that to this, you know, and never just like, okay, this is good. I'll just chill now. You know, it's like, okay, good. That's done. Like put that there. All right. What else? Like, it's like he's, you know, in the Olympics or something it's just this drive that it just never ended. Sometimes you'd kind of burn out, but then like, you know, then he'd come right back and he'd come to my house at like 6 a.m, like, like, dude, what the fuck? Like, and it's like, oh man, I got this amazing idea. We got to do this, and then we're gonna go here and we're gonna meet these people. I'm like, okay, dude.
That's exactly how we remember
I
him.
just woke up, like I'm literally like in bed, and like, get up, man. Whoa, it's already morning. It's like, yeah, it's 6 in the morning. He would just go all day, and he was just so like, he would just bring me along, and I'd learn a lot from him. And so after he passed, like that's like my group KTM Collective. Like we formed that maybe a couple months after, because we realized like other than just losing like a really close friend, he had been kind of guiding us, and we were just learning from him, and we'd all like, because you know we were rappers and graphic designers. I had videos and whatever. And we're kind of like, he would come up with a cool idea, and then we'd all you know make it happen in some way or another. Mostly him making it happen, but you know he was the driving force. And when he was gone, then it was like, shit, if we just let this all, and especially hip hop industry in general, you know, if we just let this just like go back to normal, then we're not really doing him any justice. He did want to see Nepal hip hop scene get international and get the credit it deserves. And not just that, just film, Nepali culture, modern Nepali culture. So we decided it was kind of like, okay, we need to do something. That's why we created this KTM Collective group, and trying to make very kind of underground, cutting edge type content that's not always. Now you see a lot more Nepali hip hop videos looking like the kind of stuff that we were doing, but at that time it was very different. Kind of, it was more based on the stuff that we liked from international hip hop scene, doing it in Nepal, and then that broadened out to doing movies. We've just produced a short movie called "I Wish I Didn't Have to Do This." That's my short, and then we're producing another one with Barca, and Ayushman is the cinematographer on that. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. They just they're coming back today.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you just saw the shoot.
Hey, you saw that? Yeah. So that's a KTM Collective project. Us and British Council and I think Pame and Tarkovsky Films. But yeah, we're like executive producers on that project. That's a really cool movie. You got to get Barca on here. Do you know Barca? She's a director she worked at Fuzz Factory for years. She started as she's fantastic. Dude,
I think I know her Instagram handle. Maybe there's something different in it.
You've for sure seen her work.
I've Tokola Chia wala ho.
Yeah.
Biomi Rai ki like.
Yes. Yeah.
I know
it's
everyone.
Her. Yeah.
Follow the sabala garchu m like.
Yeah. You
got a follower bhako मान्छेलाई like I hunt them down and like keep following them.
Upcoming most exciting director, I'd say. Yeah, just really unique perspective.
Ani hard work देखिन्छ कि like even if it's just a चियाको ad हैन She put everything out. Now, if any Nepali is like even thinking of making a chia, they're
God,
like nothing new, okay? Because
Exactly.
she's like done everything. Every frame is so beautiful. I was like, wow, यो कसले गर्यो? यो नयाँ मान्छे हो, थाहा हुन्छ नि त. यो काम नयाँ मान्छेको फर्स्ट लेखा छ, तर नयाँ मान्छे हो जुन चाहिँ like मैले यो फ्लेभर पाएको छैन.
I mean, Fuzz Factory was basically like a really hands-on film school for her because I want to say she got in like her start there as a like creative director or something, but it was kind of a vague job title. They were just like, we like you. Like, yeah, she was doing animation at that time, and actually she was my roommate, and we never talked about movies. Like I was talking about movies, but I had no idea she had any interest. I knew that she was kind of studying this animation thing, but she didn't have that much interest. And then later, like, she's like, I just got a job at Fuzz Factory. I'm like, what? How, doing what? How? Animation? No, creative director. What? Like, I don't know. And then like a month later, she's like, yeah, I'm on camera now. She ended up like from there to director of photography to like production manager to like director, you know, just like in a pretty short amount of time, and just really just has a completely unique way of shooting. And she's very particular about the cinematography, like, because she's been a DP for so long. And then at the same time, now, you know, she's been writing like things like for long form for a long time. So now these things are coming together now that she gets to really direct the movie. And this movie that they made is really special.
I would really, really, really want to meet her. Please hook me up with her. Please, podcast. If she wants,
absolutely.
I know some people just don't want to come here. If she wants, I would really want to like just know her in person.
I think she's got to come here. Yeah, I think she would have a good time. She's done a few kind of like interviews things, but she's
that's a good news. Like I try to get people just like I can't get Pooja Gurung and Vibhushan here because I would really love.
Oh yeah, well they're shooting right now, or no, they're on location.
Right now. Camera like they've got their own different world that they don't just want to show that.
So like, I haven't met Pooja Di, but I've met Vibhushan a couple times, hung out with him. He's really chill dude.
That's something I've been waiting for. Oh man.
He would be years. Funny on this. He's such a funny dude. He's really smart and really funny.
Yeah. Like, I've followed his work for a long time. Like this duo has been just training people like villages गाउँमा गएर they're like been training बिचमा budget नभएर it's like a very 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 expensive movie तर I don't know.
Talking about whole timers?
Yeah. So I don't know कहिले आउँछ तर
अब त्यो सुन अब हुन्छ
I think फ्लोरमा जान लाग्छ something like they pre नै गरिरहेछ उनीहरु गाउँमा खिचेर के गरेर
they're on location. They're like ready to shoot. Like I know one actor who's in the film and a supporting role is like very good friends with Anmol, and I met him on the set of Chodke, and he was talking about their pre-production process, and they've been workshopping for like months. And this guy is like, I don't know exactly how big his role is, but he's like so invested. He's done all this research about like what his name is. He has on his phone, he has a photo of what his wife is. She's also a cadre, and we live on this farm and we grow these veggies. He went really in depth, and he was like a former army guy, so he was doing like physical workouts and like he's supposed to be a Malbadi in it. So every time he'd see him, he's like Lal Salam, and still comrade. And so even for the supporting roles for Vibhushan and Pooja's movie, it's like that intense. So yeah, but I know they are trying to get a camera, like they have a camera somewhere in the US that they're trying to get here. I don't know if it's gotten here yet, but that means that they must be ready to shoot. That movie's going to be fantastic.
That's something.
Have you heard about what?
I know. Like we can't say what
it's
up in the website, nahi?
Is it?
Yeah, I think.
Like a found footage war movie is like.
G kind of emailed me about something. Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I wish I had thought of this. This is such a good idea for a movie. Oh my god, like you guys.
Relatable पनि हुन्छ यो generation like kind of like okay what. Did you? I don't know if we were supposed to talk about.
Did you see that one? The
Shaman and the Two Heads. Two big-headed shaman.
Yeah, the two
big-headed. Everything. I follow them religiously.
That shit was amazing.
Nepali Dhanna came for last year. Came. I think it was online because of COVID. Last year, go
it was streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a black and white documentary-ish movie, which is amazing, man. What the hell, man?
Wow.
The writing. I think this time Pooja narrated the thing, right?
It's
kind of goes. They both can do it. Vibhishan can do it.
They both? I saw it a while ago, but yeah, the narration was so funny and so. I normally hate that kind of like, I'm a filmmaker, and we went to this place.
It's very Nepali.
These people.
Yo gaउँमा रहेको खालको छ नि.
They did it in a way that it wasn't cringy to me. I found it really charming and kind of relatable.
I think नेपालीमा थियो नि त. Maybe you like didn't understand all of it. Maybe तिमीले नेपाली सब बुझ्छ.
तर खै त्यो subtitles पनि थियो.
तर नेपालीमा there's like a different kind of
नेपाली पारा
त्यो old classic black and white songs मात्रै छ जुन चाहिँ नयाँ ल्याउन थोरैले मात्रै सक्छ के. It's either Maya or this modern times ma tara like actual poetry दिन अति नै गाह्रो छ नेपालीमा. It sounds अलिकति off के even like movie को dialogues पनि अलिकति off सुनिन्छ नि. तर त्यो डकुमेन्ट्रीमा चाहिँ I think Vibhishan wrote it or maybe they wrote it together.
त्यो पनि एकदम relatable like normal पारा पनि गर्यो. It wasn't just like so serious. तर अलिअलि थियो. That it was also just very. They also I want to say it was like very witty, very comedic. Especially when they meet this kid that's the like doing the magic or whatever. Like that's just and I feel bad that didn't get as much play as I think it should have. But that's just that's the way of things. If once I'm sure this whole timers will go to Sundance or Cannes or something.
Definitely, man. Definitely.
And then they'll get more of the credit. Daria. That was at Sundance. That was fantastic as well.
Crazy thing.
Yeah. Shout out to them. So I cannot wait to see what they're working on. Oh my God, yeah. So, yeah.
Everything. And म के जाने नै उनीहरुको मुभी हेर्न. जहिले लास्टमा राख्दिन्छ नि so that people will wait. From Dumb and Right, Daria, Shamanko,
right? They're on they have like 100% ranking. So like they haven't had a flop, like a bad movie yet. I mean, that's only 3 projects, but those are 3 really strong projects. And so like, this is their like magnum opus or something. So it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. So there's so many cool. So and they're not really doing this neorealist style thing, but they do shoot like gauma nearly till working class people. But they're using their imagination. They're doing something that's a bit different. That's what I appreciate about it. Which again, not saying shit on those other filmmakers that are doing the kind of more traditional neorealism style, but it's cool to see that they still got into film festivals outside Nepal and they're getting funding from outside Nepal for this kind of experimental narrative.
I think it all comes down to the thing that you said. Ki afu first काम चाहिँ गरेर छाड्दै हाल्नु पर्छ at a young age. Looking at from where I am right now, you're like light years ahead of me as a filmmaker.
I know.
Because no, I can do my thing. म यतातिर छु तर video like यतातिरको filmmaking is like raw, rough, whatever. यतातिरको धेरै planning हुन्छ नि. Like I always say it. So if I had to make a feature, so maybe I had to go past a few short films, then you'll get there. Nepali film directors, they're all aspiring directors, not directors yet, and they come on. Maybe at some point, कति धेरै कुरा त मलाई नै धेरै थाहा छ अनि उले मिस्टेक गरेर छ थाहा पनि हुन्छ कि you get a point. So maybe त्यस्तो वेमा पूजा गुरुङ already did a lot of music videos कान्तिपुरमा काम गर्दाखेरि. So she had the commercials thing out of her way के. So she had already directed a lot of videos, worked as a filmmaker, and now everything is past her. Now her own like,
and they edit their own work too.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. Everyone, if you want to learn how to direct, you gotta edit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can hire an editor later, no problem. I mean, I get there's lots of great filmmakers that they have some awesome editor edit their movies, and I've done that for other projects. I've been just an editor on certain projects for collaboration.
You got to learn everything. It's like being a CEO of a company. When you're a filmmaker, director, like you have to know what lights is going on, के भइराछ, कहाँबाट के भइराछ, सबै कुराको आइडिया त हुनु पर्यो. एडिटिङ त लाइक कतिसम्म हुन्छ भन्दा फुटेज ल्याएर दियो ल एडिट गरिदियो अब 1 महिनामा मलाई चाहियो भन्छ अनि लाइक डाइरेक्टर won't even see the editor's face अनि
to me I mean if you really look at it the movie is the edit. That's the editor is
everything.
making
I think every video.
Every video, any time-based medium, it's the editor that's making. When you're shooting, you're making the raw material that the editor is going to cook with. You know, shooting is like farming. Okay, we're gonna need carrots. We're gonna need a cabbage, aloo. So you're bringing back like the best
just chopping
quality.
all the ingredients. Tuck ball ma rakdira shoot bhayirako. Now cooking the editor le garera.
That's the editor. No, even the cutting it is. Yeah, I mean, it's really like we want to bring back the best raw material for you. So like this is the best carrot we could find, and we grew it really nice, and you know we really took our time making it, and this is just gonna be delicious, you know. And then the editor comes and goes like, I don't like that part. I don't like this part's nice, and put that in there, you know. But it's the editor that's deciding those things, and that they can make a bunch of different dishes. Like, oh, you brought these veggies back. Well, you brought more pumpkin than I'd think, but actually we could make this soup with that. It's getting even better, you know. And that's what real editing is, because I think a lot of editors here, they go by exactly what the AD has written, or you know, second, third AD has written down on the list of takes. Like, this take was bad, this take is good. Editor, I don't think should be looking at the list at all. You should be fresh eyes, just looking at the footage.
Spend time on file management. Like what I normally do is there's like very big project. I don't sit on the edit. तर मेरो भिडियो हो नि त, लाइक आई निड टु मेक स्योर माई भिडियो इज गुड. सो म त सबै फुटेज हेर्छु. अनि वाट आई डु इज सेलेक्ट द गुड वन्स, अनि सिक्वेन्स बनाएर राखिदिन्छु कि. सो लाइक सिक्वेन्स 1 इज द इन्ट्रो. आई हेभ लाइक 15 फुटेजेस, मेबी ड्रोनको 10 फुटेज यो क्यामेराको. तर इन्ट्रो भन्ने फोल्डरमा मैले सबै राखिदिन्छु. त्यो सिक्वेन्स मिलाएर राखिदिन्छु कि, किनकि लिनियर त बनाइदिनु पऱ्यो नि. इट्स सर्ट नन लिनियर, लाइक यताउति गरेर हुन्छ, क्रोमेटिक खिचा हुँदैन. सो त्यो क्रोमेटिक चाहिँ मिलाएर राखिदिन्छु. अनि आई गिभ द एडिटर, अनि सानो सानो नोट्स हालिदिन्छु. अनि द एडिटरको काम त अब कति धेरै छ नि, म्युजिक, अडियो. इट्स लाइक 60-70% अफ द फिल्म इज नट द भिजुअल, इट्स द अडियो, वाट यु लिसन टु नि त. सो उसले त्यो पाराले मिलाउँछ. अनि देयर सर्टन काइन्ड अफ फ्लो. अब आई डोन्ट नो, अब मुभीमा त झन् इन्टेन्स रूपमा जानु पऱ्यो त्यो.
Yeah, for movies, I mean, my editing style, I also do this on music videos and stuff, similar to what you're saying. But I don't like even using bins. I take all of the footage, blam, land it on the timeline, and then I separate it based on subject matter, you know, scene based or whatever.
More or less, yeah.
And then what I do is, like, if I like a take, I'll highlight it, but I'll just leave it there, and I'll keep watching all the takes. I'll keep all that footage there, and I won't delete anything. And then if I'm gonna look at a scene, I'll copy and paste that whole pile, and I'll look at every take. And what I'm always looking for is what's the worst take. Like, not looking for, so if I have, and for Basanji, we'd have like 40 takes, 20 takes.
Wow.
We normally would do about 20. I think we averaged Premiere.
Like a computer that you hired editors.
We worked at different studios. I edited the movie. We were with Yamdai's studio for a while, and we worked at different places to edit that movie.
But at the end, did you buy your computer yourself and like?
No, we
rented a place.
Should have done that. That would have actually saved money. Yeah, probably should do that. I edit on my laptop now. I use all proxies. Like, I always work with Kapil Paradygm, colorist, genius. So I'll give all my raw to him. He'll give me the proxies. I can just edit on my laptop as long as the monitor is good and I've already seen the quality's fine, then it's fine. But then, yeah, I do like a reductive process. So I'm just removing the worst thing. If I can find what's the worst thing and why is it worst and why would I never use this take, and like if I can identify what's bad, then I can remove that, and then I watch them all again. Now so if I had 40 takes, now I'm looking at 39 takes, and I watch it over and over until I find what's the worst out of these 39, remove that one again. And even though the whole time there's this one take that I know is awesome, and it can be tempting to just grab that take, put it in, because you know that, you feel like you know that's the right take, that one's so good, but I resist that urge because I've realized in the past that I was wrong with that first take. So I keep going back and back and back, and after generally a day or 2 days, if I'm working on a scene, I've got like it down to 2. You know, and it's normally going to be that one that I saw from the beginning, and now there's a new one. And 9 times out of 10, it's that new one that goes in the movie. So there'd be subtle things that you did not notice until that last round. Once you've identified instead of trying to pick what it should be, it's actually better to pick what it should not be. It's because it's like when you're going, it should be. It's like you're catching a fish with a fishing line. If it's what should not be, it's like a net. You know, slowly closing the net in, but not being like it could be good in this way, but this other thing's good in another way, you know? And if you're just going that, then you're making it so that things that you don't expect can't happen. And the same thing happens, I would say this, I do the same thing with actors, where I generally want to see what they come up with. I already know what I want them to do because I've seen them do it in the audition or whatever, or I have it in my head. But we'll do a take, and then instead of just telling them like be this, I try to just be like, okay, this was interesting, but I didn't like it. I just pick one thing that I didn't like, and then I just say, and just go for it again. And so they're like, oh, okay, all right, so I was walking around too much. A lot of times you look at an actor doing a take that you didn't like, but you don't really know what's not working and what would work. Because if I just say do this, they're going to do it, but I already know that. That's already safe. I can tell them to do that anytime I want. What I want to know is, do they have something in their head that I never would have thought of? And if I just tell them to do this one thing, like you should be happy for this scene, and they're going to do some kind of sad version that I never would have thought of. But if I just told them be happy right from the beginning, it's over. Now I'm never going to see that. I will never know that they were going to do this really moving, sad version of that or something.
So when you screen that, you don't want to write the emotion.
No.
That's what I normally read in Nepali scripts.
Yeah, that's what the big problem. The screenplay should not tell you.
This is interesting, man.
The screenplay should just say what they're doing. This character said this. They sit in this chair. They stand up. They leave. Okay, maybe they punches another guy in the face. Okay, he must be angry, you know. But still, I don't want to just say. I want to keep it pretty vague. Because it's going to be way more fun to see what that act, and you get surprised, especially with great actors, they just come with something completely different. And so, and one great example of this was Mithila Sharma, because she's in Basanji, and she's a fantastic actor, right? And she just had like a few scenes, and I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted her to play it. I had an idea in my head of like, teachers that I liked growing up that were really interesting. But when she came in, and it was just such an interesting new way that she played this character, and I would really just, my only directions would be just like really small things, like, you know, when you place the pen back on the table or something. I don't know specifically what I said, but it would just be super small things, and she was really happy. Like she really liked working with. Like she was like, it was so fun shooting. Like I really like your style. So, and I'm like, I didn't do shit today. Like you came up with everything, and I was just like, okay, great, just don't point when you say that line. You know, small things.
She was not there in the pre-production, right?
No.
She just came in, read the. Did you emailed her the script? She was ready.
Yeah. She said no like 1,000 times until Suraj Rambo just like got her to agree somehow, and she's like, okay, I'll do like one day, and like that's all you get. And like we're like, okay, we had tried with some other people and it was not working. Some people that we had auditioned, and still the role was not working.
This is a small teacher ko role. जहाँ चाहिँ उल्ले Ian ले मिथिला शर्मा लाई ल्याएर छाड्यो, veteran actor अति नै बवाल.
And so she just owns it. We did all the scene, and there's actually another scene that we did that ended up getting cut, not because anything. She did fantastic in it, but it was just like that. It was like, if I had just told her exactly what I wanted from the beginning, she wouldn't have done this performance, and I would have been stuck with just whatever I had in my head, which is like, what you have in your head should be your backup plan. That's like your safety net. Like, okay, if anything, all else fails, I'll tell them to do this, and we'll do as many takes as it takes to get that. Easy. That's normal. What else do they have? It's an actor. They're looking at it completely different. They don't have that in their head. They're gonna have something probably better than whatever you thought of. So if you can they just do something, it's like, wow, that was really different. And you might have the urge to be like, no, just don't do that. Do what I asked for. Do what I want in my head. Instead, just be like, okay, there's something here. It's not working still, but something's here. So what is not working? And just look at the take, and don't feel like frustrated that you have to say something right away. If you're just chill and like, just watching it, just watch it again. Don't get freaked out. Just watch it again. Figure out what it is. Okay, I don't know what to say about this take, but I don't like that. Okay, so just don't do that. And you go. And it's getting closer. And then now there's a new thing that you don't like. You know? And then as you're seeing what you don't like, they're getting what you like. And it just, amazing performance comes out of nowhere that you had really, you kind of just like, you just kind of helped it along, but it was gone. They're the one doing it. You're just trying to be like, okay, don't step there, you know? You're just, you know what I mean? And then sooner or later you get it. And so that kind of, I do that for I do that when I'm writing. I don't go like, this is going to be the idea. It's like, maybe, but maybe it'll be this other thing. Just keep it vague as long, and then when it's good, it'll like tell you.
What about the dialogues?
Same with the dialogue. I mean, when I write dialogue, I write at the same speed as I type, like if I was talking to you on Facebook or something. And I need to know what the characters are before. So I need to have, and I'll generally, maybe it'll be a mixture of like friends of mine or, you know, politicians or somebody. You know, I have some image in my head. And then I just like, once the first line is there, I like to just type like I'm writing, like I'm doing a chat. And if I don't know what to type, I press the dot. I press the period. So it's like dot, 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 dot. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should do something else? Question mark. Boom. You know, and if I don't know what to say, I just do the dot. And those pauses end up being really nice, natural. I mean, it's good guidance for the actor. They might throw that whole thing away later, but a lot of times that does kind of, okay, the fact that when I was writing, didn't know what to say as this character, that's actually showing you something. That can be in the scene, that they pause. Now, this is where you have the character pause, because I didn't know what to write. I hate when I'm watching a movie and it feels like everyone is clever as fuck and knows exactly when to say the right thing at the right time. I mean, sometimes that's really fun to watch. I don't want to say that I hate that. There's a lot of directors that do that great, you know, like Coen Brothers and stuff. But yeah, I find that if you just type super, super fast and just see what comes, and then later you can edit it down, like, oh, these characters really talked a bit too long about the weather or whatever. It's like, okay, you can shorten that down. And
do you let the actors like write their own lines?
Absolutely. Yeah. I look at the script as like, that's my backup plan now, because I already like this. So all that can happen is it can be improved upon with what they do. So in the workshop side, after they've been cast, I'll tell them just, you know, okay, you see what the script is, don't worry about it. Don't even look at it. Okay, your character's, it always goes to the motivations. Your character's motivation is this. You want to go to the party. He doesn't want to. The reason you don't want to go is because you want to play video games, and he wants to go because he wants to meet this girl that he met, or whatever. Just give them a little bit of backstory and just try, you know. Film those. That's a screen test, you know. And you film, and then sooner or later you will find like how it works for them. It'll normally be some kind of mixture. You'll get like some really good new lines out of that, and then you'll be like, okay, but I still want you to say this at the end of the scene or whatever. You know, it's just like if you just look at it as, and that's why I also do a rough shoot before. I generally like to go with a phone or any kind of simple camera and shoot with like either with the actors or with somebody else standing in, and then editing it, and you can like look and know like, okay, I have this movie already. And when I go to set, if all else fails, I'll make this movie. And then it's just only can be improved upon. So you're never like worried like, oh, we're wasting time. Like they don't know what they want to do. And it's like, it's fine. If they don't nail it in a couple more takes with this, then we'll just start doing takes of the thing that I want them to do, you know? It's fine.
How was it like being on the other end, like in front of the camera, like especially when you're acting with Anmol, right?
Yeah.
How was the experience?
It was weird how not weird it was. I guess like I had to keep kind of just reminding myself, this is a really strange situation that you're in. Like you are now in a big action movie with the big star here, and
Nigam wanted you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I was his first choice, but
there's no casting director, right? Nigam, he called you up.
Yeah, he called me, yeah. And it was weird. Another one of my friends here had already sent me like a post. They had posted like looking for a foreigner that speaks Nepali or something like that. And they're like, "That's you, dude." And I was like, and then I'm getting a call like, "This is the director, Nigam. Yeah, hi. We're looking for a role like yours." And he just asked me to do not even really an audition, just like he sent me like a few lines, and he wanted me to just film myself with my phone. So I did that, and then I sent it to him, and then offer. Like, do you want to be in the movie? And I'm like, well, how big is the role? He's like, it's quite a big role.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm like, my screen time is a lot. I don't think that my character is so integral to the plot or anything, but I'm there a lot. I have a lot of lines.
This is Chorge too, right?
Yeah. And which is a completely different story than the first one. It's like, it's going to be an anthology series. So yeah, it was like, it's an action movie, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like running around with a gun and like shooting and fighting. I'm like, this is kind of like what I would want to do. If you went to like me in middle school and were like, you're gonna be in this, like, I would have been like, fuck yeah. But I'm like, how am I getting this? Like, I felt even a little bit bad because I know that there's so many people that just they're driving so hard to get that opportunity, and it just kind of fell into my lap, you know?
No, maybe you saw something like
but,
that. Now, bro,
I mean,
I can't I can't unsee you in your short hair. Like, I can remember you in your short hair anymore. Like, this is just goes.
This is the look. Yeah.
This is meant for you.
I think I'm gonna once this movie comes out, I'm gonna have to do something about this. I don't want to be like. I'm not all that into like people coming up like phones and trying to do TikToks with you and stuff. So,
I was. We were talking about. Sorry, I get like. I drifted away too much.
I don't. Oh yeah, you were talking about acting. Yeah, what it was like was well. One thing I realized is that I had been acting so much more often than I really gave credit to. Because when I was on set and let's say I did want the actor to do it in a certain way, I would just act it out, just like I wanted something like this and then you really have to go into your head like, well, how would I open the door and whatever. And so I'd already kind of been doing that, like, so it was like doing that again, but then with a lot less responsibility as well. I just had to focus on myself. I found myself much more relaxed on set, just knowing that it's not my fault if the lighting isn't working or anything. Just like I just got to focus on me, and I found it pretty fun. Actually, I had a really good time. Especially there's some, I don't want to like spoilers, but there's some scenes where I was like. There was something that, well, yeah, I'm not supposed to, really worried about spoiling anything.
Maybe we should.
Certain scenes where they got some coverage where camera was way away from us. Almost barely visible. I mean, it was, and then, or just using a drone. And it's like a big kind of set piece kind of thing. And kind of action thing, and everyone's in costume and in character, and when I'm not looking around and I'm not even seeing the film set type stuff because we're just out on the location, I'm like, this is cool. This is like, it's really happening. It feels like I had that was my favorite day. I mean, I'll say later when the movie's out and stuff. I don't know what I'm allowed to say or not say. But yeah, sometimes I really felt like it's like I'm playing like I did when I was a kid, running around being secret agents or whatever. But now there's like production value. It's like, I don't have to pretend that I'm shooting the henchman. There's like guys there that are going to fall over and there's blood and squibs blowing up and stuff. So I felt like I was a kid again. And yeah, it was really fun. I'll definitely like to do it again for sure. People are saying that they really liked my performance. And like, oh, you're going to be in such high demand here. I'm like, I really don't think so. Just because they would have to write another, here's again a character that's a foreigner that speaks Nepali. You'd have to change the script to like
the next big superstar right here.
I think I really lucked out that he had already had it in his head that this is a foreigner character that speaks Nepali. That's already there from the beginning. That's how I got the role. So I think someone would have to like what I did here and then have to either rewrite their script or I don't know. But who knows? I'd love to do it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
How was it working with Anmol? Like, he gets too much of criticism since with the recent movie, I think I had a VFX blunder, and people assume that he's like the silver spoon kid. But as far as I know him, he's very hardworking. Like, I kind of got closer to the Gazolu. There was a movie. I had a friend who was the actress of the movie. So we chilled out. We were out, and he's like always humble, very sweet, and like, why are people hating on him? Too humble.
So fucking humble, and like you said, hardworking. He gives a shit about what he's doing.
Like no distractions, no parties, no friends time. Like I'm going to
does his
and respects everyone. Like
very respectful, never complains. Anytime someone comes up and asks for a photo with him, he's like, even if he's exhausted, and I've seen him do it for like an hour, and he's still like, sure, absolutely. Like, oh, how would you like it? What's your name? And just being really nice to them. Like, I would not do this. At this point, I would be like, fuck off. You know, he has a lot of patience. I mean, I guess he's used to it. It's his life. But yeah, as far as like working goes, like he's really he really knows what he's doing. I think probably what happens a lot of the time is the takes. So at the end of the day, if you're shooting a scene, you're going to have like, I mean, depending on a lot of Nepali movies, you might just have 5 takes or 10 takes, maybe max.
Really? Okay.
I think a lot of them do that. Yeah. Some are going to be more than that. But even in then, there's going to be a variation of your acting in that scene. And I think what you're saying about like a lot of the criticism that he gets for like his previous films
and his acting
in those films, I think what you know I've seen is that he does like he'll do different things, and some of those things are things that people would really see as like realistic, subtle, good acting. And then other people see that as, oh, he looks ulchi, we need more, you know, and they'll ask him to do more, and then he does more, and that's what goes in the movie, and then he gets criticized for it. But he's really kind of doing what is being asked of him.
Yeah, exactly. Like every time I say this, like he's mostly in very commercial movies. Jहाँ चाहिँ acting भनेकै director को reflection हो क्या? It's director demanding that thing.
Exactly.
किनकि उसलाई अलिकति subtle, अलिकति सुहाउने role, अलिकति.
And there's stuff like he did on Sodke, like that. You know, now speaking from my experience with him, where like I would see him doing really subtle performance, and then you know, hear other people on the crew or maybe people watching like, yeah, let's see that. You know, I'm like, dude, damn, he got like, but they're not used to seeing they want the and more kissy, you know, this filmy thing. And he's doing like a great job, and they're like, "Whoa, it's not there. Why isn't he doing that?"
Basically, he's getting kind of forced to do it.
It sucks because it's like that's what people are asking him to do, and he's doing it, and then he's getting shit on for what they're asking.
And I'm pretty sure he's not loving the.
I mean, you'll have to have him on. I don't want to like talk too out of turn, but he's definitely he's someone that has good taste in like likes some really good movies. Like we share some similar taste in movies. Not to say that my taste is so great, but whatever. I'm just saying, like, as far as I can tell, he likes good stuff. He wants to make cool stuff. He's doing mostly the audiences or the producers are demanding a certain thing, and a lot of the audiences love that. But then a lot of people online that don't like this kind of stuff just have a great time making fun of him. I do feel bad for him in that way, but it's not that he can't do these great things. Like I'm definitely going to work with him. Like we were talking about, like how we got to make something. So we're definitely going to make some movie, and I would love to be the one to show these people like, see, this is actually why he's getting all these roles. It's not just because his dad was in the industry and stuff. He actually is like very hardworking, and he will do like a lot of actors. There's I don't want to say there's two kinds of actors, but there's the kind of actor that just almost like Ankit. You roll and he's like a geyser of emotions and stuff, and you're gonna get different stuff each take. It's just embodying him, and it's like you know, a force of nature that you just got to capture. And then there's the kind of actors that are just very good at nailing exactly what once you've decided, even in the workshops, we like what you just did there. Can you do that again?
That's Meryl Streep style. So the thing is, she gets the thing, and she practices the motion so many times. So even if you shoot the movie a month later,
she's still doing it?
She'll do the exact.
Great. Okay, so he's like that actually. I've seen it, and you know, I know people that they don't want to believe me, but they'll have to see later. I'll have to prove them wrong later. But the dude, like, Monday you did a if you did a workshop for that scene and you picked how you wanted him to do it, he will remember it, and then on Friday he will do exactly what he did. Like every pause, every glance, I mean, it's like exact. And I was really impressed. And then, we need to do another take. Do you want it that way again? Boom, same thing. And if you have that, you know, it's not that one is better than the other. I mean, I love also what Ankit does, and maybe he also can do this kind of thing too. He'll be like, why are you saying I can't do that? He can. But, you know, to have an actor that you know, okay, he's going to do that every time. That's exactly what I want. Okay, now I can focus on the lighting and the camera movements and whatever. So it's it's nice. So, yeah, I think he's vastly underused. And I think a lot of the times, probably every movie that he's done, you could do, if you got the raw footage, you could edit a much better version of it. It's just they always pick like the most over the top version of everything. And whenever he tries to do something more subtle, people just give him shit because they're like, bad kind of. It's like, no, that's actually how people are. We don't just
You're not all,
Look how we're talking right now. Do you see?
You don't have to act like you're eye on coke.
Exactly.
The time, right?
Exactly. So, anyways,
excited.
I think some people depends on how it's edited and stuff. But this Chodke, I definitely saw on set some very good subtle acting.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't see it in the movie, it's not his fault.
I just want to see Anmol Kisi in a movie where he's like misunderstood, bullied. He's like, that's kind of what he is in real life also. Like bullied, like not the hero that punches everyone with one punch and flies off, but someone who might not even be able to punch, So
sure.
Very sweet guy, but really misunderstood.
Well, yeah, and also
introverted.
But then also like insanely like worshipped. Like, so it's like he's getting both sides because like everywhere we went, like once one person noticed he was there, it's just a matter of time till there's like a massive crowd. Even you're in some small area, you'd think there's going to be 10 people max in this whole block. It's like, no, there's like 100 people in that, like, because that'll spread. Within 10, 15 minutes, it's like, where did you all come
I think
from?
He's kind of maintained that image also, like, doesn't come out, like, isn't very easily available.
No, yeah.
He just comes out when his movies, like,
introverted and, just, like, he focuses on his own stuff, loves watching movies, just super chill guy, like, is not all
It's been a while I met him. Like, we should chill someday.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. Well, we'll talk more there. But yeah, he's and he's shooting something right now. Climbing movie. I don't know. Yeah, you should have him on. I don't want to be.
You're already done with Paradygm Shop.
Yeah.
He's already shooting another movie, Ferry.
He's in workshops. I don't know if they're shooting yet. I think it's Jerry or I probably shouldn't be saying. I don't know
Jerry
if that's is
no, it's
is that already public?
Announced basically.
Okay. Well, I don't want to say anymore, but.
I think Anna is in it. Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know, man.
But like straight out of shooting that, he's already in workshop. I think he had like maybe 5 days off or something, and that was it. It was right into the next movie, and I think his schedule's like that for the rest of the year.
They should be lucky if an actor gets jobs in Nepal. Like we like for you to have that mango pickle ko decade, you were still doing some shit, like music. So you got it but for a Nepali actor, like you're like unemployed for 2 fucking years, man. That's like.
And there's so many factors. I feel so bad for actors. Well, that rhymed. Because it's not just, you're a great actor. Now we need someone that's tall, or we need someone that's short. We need someone fat and you're skinny. We need someone that's a man and you're a woman. There's like, it's so. What sucks about it is that you meet actors that you want to put in everything, But then it's like, but it's just not.
Yeah, it's expensive for them, man. Like I know people who like buy their own clothes, go to the gym, do this, do that. That's like bro.
Yeah.
For the gym and the
to
protein
maintain
and shit, groom yourself, like buy clothes. And you can't wear it outside, like, because you're already there in the poster. With
right?
The same
yeah, exactly.
OD.
Getting your own costume, like the costume director just gives you some crap that's already falling apart.
Purple.
Like, I'll buy my own leather jacket. This doesn't look like real. I'll buy my own. I mean, they have to do that, and they're so hardworking. Like I love actors. It's my some of my favorite people to hang out with. I just find them magical and stuff. But I always feel very bad that there's so many. It's not just that you have to be a good actor. There's so much luck involved. Now you need a good project, and now you need the script to be good and the director to be good, and then they need to want you, and that you need to fit the role, and and it's like just so many factors that are against them. Which at least if I'm a director, okay, I can get the budget. I'll make a movie with my phone or something, but it'll still be my movie. I can make my movie. If you're an actor, you have to. I mean, that's why you see a lot of actors go into like directing with their friends and stuff, just to like make the movie they want to make, because they such talented people, and it's just like they're just waiting for when is my, like what we talked about Moksha and Ankit, they could easily be massive stars, just they haven't been given that opportunity enough, or at all, to play the main role or whatever. So, and they're just like, okay, I'm a great actor, just. Anyone, I worked really hard on this skill and I'm really good at it. I hope someone notices. So anyways,
That's that.
Yeah,
right?
that's the difficulty with that. Yeah.
When is this releasing Chadke? It is going to take time, right? Post-production all
You
this.
would think, but it's coming very fast. It's like March 3rd.
What?
Yeah.
Shooting last year सक्यो थियो.
Yeah. I know. अस्ति खै एक महिना अगाडि जस्तो लाग्यो.
That's rapid. That's like super duper fast, right?
It's एकदम fast.
Wow.
It's crazy
त्यतिमा
fast.
सकिन्छ
त्यो
र.
लाइन एडिटर थियो हैन. So shooting को बेलामा line up गर्यो हैन. So त्यही भएर होला तर still very fast.
That's way too fast.
Wait, yeah. Very 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 fast.
I would expect at least 6 months post production त मजाले लागिहाल्छ नि. It's dubbed हैन?
It's yes. Well, it will be. I still have not done my dub. I have dubbed one line that's coming out. Trailer's releasing on Friday, I think. So.
Whoa! Mango Pickle movie पनि हाम्रो release हुन्छ. Trailer पनि आउँछ.
And
Teaser.
I'm not exactly sure if I think
we don't have to be, man. Like
I'm not 100%. If I'm wrong,
there's a disclaimer in front of this video that we might not be accurate.
Okay, whenever it comes out, they dubbed. I have a line in the trailer, and it is very memorable.
No, we'll call you guys up. I'm Paradygm TV ma the fun show ko lagi I'll call you guys up and we'll have a good time.
Yeah, okay.
Film
yeah.
Like see aru ठाउँमा film promotion गर्न go and they'll ask you like Nepali बोल्दिनुस् न ENG. Okay, be ready for that, man.
I'm like so this is so chill, you know? Like yeah.
Nepali बोल्ने खैरे thumbnails are you gonna be fucking
खाना मन पर्छ कि मोमो मन पर्छ. I'm like के भने like के हो like the fuck is the girlfriend ko naam ke ho? And it's like and then they'll make you feel comfortable and then you finally say something about your personal life and then they just cut that and put it at the beginning and Ian Clement is dating blah 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 and it's oh my god, you guys
leave me alone.
I'm doing them and you know I had to do it because like you know Suraj is like we got to promote this film, man, you know. Okay, you made the movie, all right, thank you very much, you got this whole film like produced and everything. All right, just got to do some interviews and just interview after interview and it's just the most mundane questions I've ever heard and this is still what people mostly know me for.
Yeah.
And I saw your interview on YouTube. I'm like, oh my God. I hope that this does better. I want them to see this one.
Well, we won't cut any small promos for this, but I don't know, man. TikTok will just, I don't know. I don't even have that mind to create such kind of content, but people are there. They just find something in you
goes,
in 15 seconds until logger TikTok ma haldiन्छ.
Your part out of context, best. You'll be like, I'll leave the interview like, even knowing this, I'm like, I didn't say anything. It's still controversial ke bhaneko थिएन यस्तो sound
somehow they'll make it sound like
they just cut that.
एउटा खैरे नेपाली आएर एभाटारलाई डिस गर्दैछ सबै नराम्रो भन्दै यसलाई के थाहा
जेम्स क्यामेरनलाई जे पाइ त्यही छ भन्यो.
I can't like take the responsibility. We don't do that.
I think so.
I don't
At
like
least
that.
your context छ हैन त्यो यस्तो एडिटिङ सेडिटिङ गर्दैन यो
के पनि गर्दैन.
full
नाम राख्दिन्छ
त्यही त
तल अलिकति मान्छेको लेखिदिन्छ हामीले त्यो बाहेक हामीले के पनि गर्दैन. टाइटलमा पनि फिल्म मेकर भनेर थाहा नहोस्. We don't get. सक्यो.
सही.
Plain आउ.
Full package. Someone sees something like they think is controversial, they can watch the whole thing. Like, hey, okay. They were talking about that. Okay, Ali buzyo. I know he's not an asshole, or maybe I am. I don't know. It's up to you.
At least you're honest, man. Like Jisuke was like.
I'm trying to think now. What did we just say in this interview? Is this any of this gonna come back?
Just like chill talk. Ryan Gosling like kind of looks like you, man.
Okay. I've heard this before. This is the best compliment I can get. Other than I've also gotten good number of times Ritik Roshan, people have said. And then I looked at both of their photos and I'm like, okay, I'm like, I see it. I get, I'm not as handsome as either of these guys, or maybe
maybe the nose is kind of Ritik Roshan.
It's the nose.
The eyes is Ryan Gosling. And
Srizana, God love her, says I'm more handsome than both of them put together. You know, I mean, of course, yeah, more. But like, I'm like, okay, I'm behind the camera guy. I mean, I just started acting, but yeah, to be compared to these like, you know, these kind of stars that are known for their looks, it's like, yeah, it feels good, man. Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, needed that little. I'm gonna have a lot more confidence throughout the day. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling ko मैले यसो हेरेको थिएँ त्यो त like since he was like 3-4 years old स्टेजमा बसेर थिएटर गर्दै रहेछ he's like been there
he's an amazing actor
been there forever singer पनि कस्तो राम्रो singer रहेछ बच्चा बेलादेखि नै
like उनीहरुको
there's I think Ariana Grande Ryan Gosling अनि सबैजना एकैचोटि स्टेजमा छ अनि like theatrical singing not like singing like तर थिएटरमा प्ले को सिंगिङ के म्युजिकल गरिरहेको बेला राम्रो गाउँदो रहेछ नाच्दै got everything like they born to do this like Hollywood decides the stars like 20 years before they even make it okay?
and then they get to like they get to have this first they get celebrated for their looks like Robert Pattinson's great example of this like they're getting celebrated by this like teenager audience there's like they're the heartthrob pretty guy whatever and they get all sorts of shit from the mainstream audience. You can say same things going on with Anmol's career, I know. And they're getting shit for that. And then they get to, when they get like a little bit older, then they get to do all these cool movies. And as long as they're good actors, like, you know, like Robert Pattinson has proved everybody wrong. Like they're just like, oh, the guy from Twilight, like fuck that guy, you know. But then he goes and does Good Time, and like no one can. Okay, and he went and did The Lighthouse, and everyone's like, okay, we get it, you're good. You know? Same Leonardo DiCaprio, same thing. So they get to like be celebrated all through their teens for just being good looking, and then they get another like, oh, we didn't know you were a great actor. And then, you know, I think it's
super satisfying.
Yeah, super satisfying.
You have like 3 careers.
Yeah, exactly. It's better than if you were known from being a child actor as being this really deep, immense role, then like where are you going to go from there? No, you got to have a little. You know, now I got to prove them wrong. It gives them something else, and then they get to win, and then they get the Oscars. And everything. You look at Leonardo DiCaprio's career now. No one would have thought that right after Titanic.
Yeah,
he was getting made fun of, like, oh, he's the brooding, you know. But he's actually good. He's a good actor in that movie too. But then, like, yeah, no one. You know, he
just
goes,
jealous,
exactly, same.
Like when people get too famous and too successful at a young age, like everyone's gonna like.
It's also annoying to see people that are that good looking also be talented. It's just like, oh, come on, pick one. It's not fair, you know. It's like, okay, so you're super talented and you're also super good looking. Like, how the hell are we supposed to compete with these people? Super, you know, freaks of nature. Like, I think even Ryan Gosling. I think I want to say he's like directing now as well. I don't know.
No, he's been doing it, you know, writing, directing.
Yeah, just the like Robert Pattinson. Like,
I'm pretty sure he's going to do amazing.
Yeah.
Well, के भन्नु लाग्थ्यो बिर्से यार कस्तो राम्रो point भन्नु लाग्थ्यो बिर्से
Rewind the tapes, everyone, and say in the comments what thing you think Sisan was going to say.
if they've reached till this point, मलाई त like 2 hours 34 minutes बितेको थाहा पनि छैन थाहा पनि छैन.
This is okay. This is how, because when you told me I was going to come here, and I just looked at the times, you know. I mean, 2.5 accounts as to how could that even, like, they must really be like really trying to figure out something to talk about at the end. Look, that was like effortless. So you look, do we do it? Is this, or we go for another like?
No. We just flow my zone.
I just broke the flow. I just broke the fourth wall.
Like you're telling me already you're writing something else already. Plotting.
Yeah. Oh, me? I am writing something else. Yeah, I've been.
Nepali nahi.
This one is not. We might shoot something in Nepal, but this is an international kind of project. So it's all set in like kind of cybersecurity, deep web, dark web.
Okay.
And it's a story that's kind of been in my head in some way or another, like since before Mango Pickle even.
Okay.
So this is like way, you know.
Ideas are it's always been there. That's what I realized also. Like it's always been there in a core. The core idea is kind of always there.
So yeah, I had a core idea for this movie, and it just never went away. And then certain different things happened that would add on to it, like. You know, first the concept had nothing to do with the internet before, and then I started hearing about the dark web, and then I started seeing how that could be connected, and then like Bitcoin and stuff, and how that could be connected. And then when Trump won the presidency, I was like, that was a big inspiration for me. You know, I'm not a big fan of Trump, but just seeing how that all worked, and then when Cambridge Analytica like the Christopher Wiley whistleblower that came out and blew up the whole thing and explained how like algorithms and stuff came up with his whole campaign, and like whole Make America Great Again is all like algorithm based, and they got the data from Facebook, and actually kind of in a illegal way, but Facebook says they didn't know, but
podcast just
oh, you have?
MAGA campaign
I found all that fascinating, and that all kind of entered into, and conspiracy theory thinking and stuff. So this movie that I've been, right now it's called Yithsek. I'm not sure what it's going to be called. This is a what do you call it? Fresh. This is a debut of information. What's the term you say? This is breaking news. And there's another thing that also put this in the comments. What you think that I'm trying to say here, and timestamp this. And I'll give you a like if you're correct. But it's about hackers. I've been like meeting different people in cybersecurity here in Nepal. It's been really cool. And I've just been researching for I guess 3 years now. I learned a little bit of programming, Python, a little bit. And I'm writing right now. I'm not writing the story. I'm not writing the script. I'm kind of coming up with the plot and the different scenes and the characters and stuff. So I think I'll be ready. I want to have a treatment of that ready by next fall, and we want to be shooting hopefully like within 2024. Yeah.
That's a plan as well. My mind just keeps getting postponed to the next year, but I'm going to take my time.
We should do like a writer's circle.
Yeah, sure.
We like meet up at like a pub with little notebooks.
No, dude, this is something that actually is kind of serious. That filmmakers त्यो एउटा cafe or like एउटा ठाउँ भयो भने just keeps you pumped up, and like your friends को circle भयो and it's always better. That's what I realized.
I have one like virtually with just one other friend who's he's actually in cybersecurity and stuff, so I always can give him same ideas and be like, well, that's completely far-fetched, but you know how it could go down is, it's like some really complicated, but that's not exactly this kind of thing that you're saying, and you've probably heard about this, like growing up, like Tolkien and they all would hang out in this little kind of dim pub and talk about their movies. It sounds so. Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it. We'll keep it secret.
This is like your podcast has been my way. Like Ian, let's meet up. Podcast ma I keep bringing down. Okay, like for an example, यो एउटा ग्रुप सँगै हुनुको advantage like Silicon Valley भयो cliche. तर Silicon Valley ma like even if a dumb idiot goes in, that person will come up so much wiser किनकि त्यहाँ त race भइरहेछ के. Like someone living in New York will be like, no bullshit, हैन. त्यसै गरेर someone, let's say living in यस्तो खालको
just through like osmosis, you just get if you're hanging out with those smart people all the time, hearing the guff, you learn, and same thing. If we're both being creative, right?
Yeah, that helps. Like let's say सबभन्दा biggest thing is film schools. Okay, even in Nepal, 4 वर्ष पढ्छ हैन. The energy is like, okay, fuck, I'm gonna make a movie. अनि you graduate, and all of a sudden your like friends get busy and everything, and the circle but baira and the Jose's answer. At least 1,000 people might have been graduated already. Someone in Nepal film schools, hardly 10%, 5% make movies. किनकि the circle जान्छ के.
Everyone gets different jobs, and then they're not, or they're all working on their own thing, but now they don't hang out.
Yeah, they don't have the circle. So I've been making YouTube videos, and I'm still making it because I have a team. I hired them, though I hired them like doesn't mean that less. I hired them because उनीहरुको त्यही mentality, so and I kind of feed on that energy के. वाक्क लाग्छ नि त गर्दा तर उनीहरुको जोश हुन्छ. So that helps me become a consistent YouTuber. हेर्न जान छैन मैले जति भिडियो. सो त्यस्तै खालको इफ यु लाइक हुन्छ नि यो फिल्म मेकिङ सर्कलको मान्छे चाहिँ पहिला हुन्थ्यो उसमा नम्रता श्रेष्ठ's रेस्टुरेन्ट व्हाट इज इट एटिक रेमन दाइ त्यहाँ चाहिँ फिल्म मेकर्सहरू टन्नजना ह्याङ आउट त्यो सगत दाइ सबैजना त्यहीँ लाइक चिल गरेर बस्थ्यो कि. द्याट्स वेन लुट ह्यापन नि त. एउटा टक्क डाँडा आँगनमा लाइक मिन बहादुर बाम निगम निश्चल बस्नेत close friends. Yeah. That's like Min Bahadur made उसको एउटा movie. त्यो बेला चाहिँ लुटको लागि हेल्प गरिरहेको थियो के. And these 3 guys sat down together and plotted the loot ko movie ni ta.
That's so cool.
It was supposed to be a short film initial.
They should keep hanging out.
Ani Min Bahadur everyone convinced. तीनजना बसेर लेखेर काइन्ड अफ ब्रट इट टुगेदर नाउ दे आर ओन सेपरेट वेज भेट्न टाइम छैन आई डोन्ट नो केमा बिजी छ सबैजना सर त्यो फिल्म मेकरको सर्कल भएन भने चाहिँ your ideas won't be executed as fast. Like if you and me are doing something, तिमीले प्री सुरु गरिसक्यो म लेखिमामा छु भने मलाई केही किसिमको लाइक ओके म्यान I gotta do इयनको त भइसक्यो भन्ने हुन्छ
अलि जोस आउँछ you know like okay we're meeting next Saturday oh what's he gonna come up with I want to come up the competitive it's like friendly competition
एउटा हेल्दी इगो त जमा नि हुन्छ
healthy competition
एउटा हेल्दी इगो नै हुन्छ नि त्यो हुन्छ it's a very natural thing
and then you want to you know and then the if you come back from it being like fuck this was so good I gotta do something that's very refreshing I seen same it's like when I saw Hereditary that made Basanji better and I didn't like copy anything that was in Hereditary but just the way that the plot, the twists and turns of it, and the way that these different details that were kind of hinted at the beginning, you know, materialized later. Just the vibe of it, I was like, I need to do better than what I watched my movie, and I watched that, and I'm like, this is not as good. This is not so good.
You're not hating on me. The ego like, fuck man, that's
because before I watched that, I was like, this is a good movie. I think I'm happy with this. I think this is done. And I watched that, and I look at it again, I'm like, okay, something is exactly not good. And so I think you need, you know, and I'm lucky because, you know, my girlfriend Shrizana is like, so she's so creative and also it's like the best feedback always. So I always get her criticisms, which are almost always on point. And I also have a professor because I graduated in like I want to say 2011 maybe. And I still have a college professor that I keep in contact with. I send her every one of my Sun Miyu. She's a great filmmaker as well. Document. She was like won awards at Locarno Festival and stuff. She's a well-known filmmaker, and but yeah, I'll anytime I have a new script, I send it to her, and she'll give me notes, and it's always like really. Like will not hold back, but also that way I know when she likes it, it's you know. So like, actually, this is mostly good, except this part makes no sense, and this is just stupid, and this, you know, it's like okay, well, and I really look at it, and it's like, yeah. So you need that, and I want more of it as well. I really think we should. If you're working, so you are writing some kind of
like what I call myself strokes. Is like I like to, like this process is
say the entire plot right here on camera.
यो पार्ट चाहिँ what I'm good at जस्तो लाग्छ भन्दा त्यो फ्लो बनाउने or plot design गर्ने के that's what I call it. I'm in the plot designing process, not even script.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
So plot design गरिरहेको छु अनि figuring out so if एउटा कुरा छ भने म त यति धेरै रिसर्च गर्न खोजिरहेको छु कि if the scene is right beside this river I'm like trying to study about the river too much information आउन खोजिरहेको तर just किनकि not for the movie but for myself because I want to learn about that river बुझ्यो नि just for my sake अनि like plot design गरिरहेको छु एन्डिङ त दिमागमा 100 वटा छ होला एउटा पनि अड्क्या छैन क्लाइम्याक्स अड्क्या छैन तर रिजन्सहरु भेटाइरहेको छु अनि एभ्री टाइम के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि आई ट्राई टु मेरो फेरि कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि I'm pretty sure you have सृजना like कसैसँग कुरा गरेर हुन्छ like यस्तो यस्तो छ this can be possible आफ्नो पार्टनरसँग कुरा गर्छ अर साथीसँग अनि म केटाहरुसँग कुरा गरेर हुन्छु कहिले आगो ताप्दै
Supreme Rai another one I should have definitely shouted he always has great feedback he's in Basanji as well
अनि sometimes when you share like next time while I'm sharing my idea with you something pops up के बोल्दा बोल्दै पनि you know that's the number one thing जहाँ चाहिँ बोल्दा बोल्दै ल fuck I just came out with that's also something that helps I just talk to the guys around me अनि नयाँ नयाँ आइडिया आउँदै जान्छ सो रिजन्सहरु मैले राम्रो राम्रो भेटाइरहेको छु के फिल्म बनाउँदाखेरि लाइक नो एक्टर विल क्वेसन मी जहाँ चाहिँ मेरो आन्सर छैन मैले सेन्सिबल आन्सर दिन सक्नु पर्यो नि त like everyone from the lightsman to the सबैलाई मलाई आन्सर दिन सक्नु पर्यो कि if I'm directing a movie or maybe producing it I don't know by this time म त am I a better producer than a director जस्तो feel भइरहेछ के because I am very good at arranging things budget यो त्यो अनि normally I let that thing to other person अनि बाहिरको प्रोड्युसर राम्रो हुनुपर्छ कि नेपाली फिल्ममा प्रोड्युसरले राम्रो काम गर्यो भने फिल्म बवाल हुन्छ कि लाइक एक्जिक्युटिभ लाइक त्यही नै ठाउँमा हैन डिरेक्टरले त एक्टरसँग कुरा गर्ने छदैछ तर त्यो यहाँ म्याटर हुने चाहिँ डिरेक्टरले उयो अपार्टमेन्टको 7th फ्लोरमा सुट गर्ने जिम्मा पनि डिरेक्टरमा छ के सो इफ आई एम द प्रोड्युसर यु आर मेकिङ अ मुभी त्यो अपार्टमेन्टलाई सबै आर्टदेखि यो प्रोडक्सन म्यानेजमेन्ट टाइम हल्ला नहुने यहाँ के हुन्छ लाइक यो सुटिङ मुभी अनि त्यो अपार्टमेन्टको मान्छे तपाईँहरूको सुटिङ सकेन भने डिरेक्टरले गरिरहेको छ इट्स नट सम वान के लाइक आई वुड बी द्याट गाई जो चाहिँ चुप लाग सुट भइरहेको छ इम्पोर्टेन्ट सिट गोइङ अन कास्ट लिएर आऊ यो लिएर आऊ लाइक एकदम ठुलो म्यानेजमेन्ट हो नि त अनि म आई एम इन द्याट पोजिसन जहाँ चाहिँ मेरो लागि मान्छेहरूले सुनिदिन्छ कि कुरा क्या
sounds like you're also doing production manager role.
नट रियली तर अहिले त कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि टु बी भेरी फ्रेङ्क जहाँ गए पनि सम वान नोज मी अनि सिसन दा हेर्छ डिस्टर्ब नगर भनेर मलाई नट जस्ट इन काठमाडौँ लाइक अल ओभर नेपाल के लाइक द्याट एडभान्टेज मैले पाइरहेको छु नि त मेबी प्रोडक्सनमा मेबी आई क्यान युज इट लेटर फ्रम द होटल्स टु एभ्रिथिङ लाइक वी आर डुइङ दिस इस्ट टु वेस्ट थिङ रे अनि द होटल्स द्याट आर सेङ कि हाम्रोमा बस्नुहोस् सबै तपाईँलाई सो इफ आई
they're gonna fight over you. Yeah.
Like so I don't know like if I had a small crew रे 10-15 जना and if I had to travel for a long time रे अनि like लाखौं पैसा बच्यो नि त that's what I don't want के like I hate it when resources go unutilized or like burning cash हुन्छ नि त्यो चाहिँ मलाई मन नै पर्दैन
some equipment you rented and now you just can't get it back but you're not going to use it it doesn't work and
no
you know that just burn it's just there's 5K every day that's just
प्रोड्युसरको पैसा खर्च गरिदिएर हो नि त त्यो लाइक त्यो चाहिँ मलाई लाइक स्ट्रिक्टली अगेन्स्ट इट लाइक प्लान्ड होस् पैसा बचाऊ क्या
if the budget increase is helping with the creative there's a reason for it in the project it's cool when it is just like oh we thought we need this thing and we don't and or we didn't get what we wanted to shoot here today so we wasted time there's no excuse for that you know and what sucks is then if you waste your budget on stuff that you don't need then when you need something it's gone now. That's why if you really like, I think the main thing that's missing from a lot of people's films is just, and I'm just talking about Nepal and I'm talking about everywhere, is pre-production being super planned out, really knowing what you're going to shoot before you get there. So that's what I like. What people say is like, oh, but on set you come up with cool ideas, improv. You know, it's like suddenly comes to you, and don't you think you get better stuff? I'm like, absolutely. I can do that more because I know like what we're doing. Like I know that we have this amount of time to shoot this scene and I already know what it's going to be. And so I know if I don't get in this amount of takes this, then we can do that. And I know I'm not just going to randomly, because I know how it's going to be edited, I'm not going to get all these extra angles. Like we need to get coverage of close-ups. I'm like, I'm not going to use the close-ups. Like I would rather have 10 takes on this wide shot that I know I want than having 5 takes on the wide shot, 5 takes of the close-up. You know, we're going to waste time. Every time.
Sorry la. I get your point there, रोकेको तर यो मैले यसमा क्वेशन सोध्न छोडेँ like how do you like storyboard blocking कसरी गर्छ like are you like do you have certain shots in mind अनि certain shots cinematographer like let's try this what do we both like भन्ने हो कि किनकि cinematographer र he's like your हुन्छ नि BFF or whatever like he's like a main partner क्या अब
100%.
He or she.
Well, I will definitely have I'll know how I at least think I want it before. I'll have it in my head when I'm writing and then when I'm doing the location scouting and that location gets locked, that's when it won't get locked until I'll at least have my phone out or something doing the blocking and figuring out this location works or it doesn't. So generally in that stage I've already done that and then like for Basanji I did a lot of diagrams so I would draw like a map like an aerial view kind of semi 3D kind of aerial view and I would just like with dots like you would like on a treasure map you know this is where the camera goes this is the first setup this is the second this is the third this is the fourth and it's not just for the DP it's really for everybody to just know it's not super beautiful but it's like we all get that like when I say 1 this is the first setup this is the second because we have moving shots all the time so you know the camera's going to come here until this point and then it moves over here and so we're going to need lighting here and you know so once everyone and then now the DP will already have gone to the set. It wasn't always the case with Basanji because you know we did start running out of time but at least when we get to the set I already know like I've already been on set and I know where the shot's supposed to go so the first thing I'm going with you know with Rajiv on Basanji like walking through okay this is the framing here and this is the framing here you know even I would take the camera most of the time and just show like these are the framings this is 1 2 3 then it needs to you know and then we do a rehearsal and then we'd get on the same page and then you know a lot of times he would be like yeah what do you think if the camera just moved over here you know you'd have really good suggestions so if I like the suggestion I'd be like yeah But I already know how. I've already edited a rough version as well. It was really important that that shot ends in a certain place and starts in a certain place, so that when I cut, there's no like weird composition. The same thing as here. You know, it's like, you know. And so I already kind of knew what it was, and then that's why it's great, because then it can only get better when you're on set. So I'm very hands-on with the DPs. Depending, like, let's say a music video, like I just worked with Joli Bhai for this Jaili.
I got a call for the wide lens.
Oh, yeah, we called you. Yeah. We ended up getting one, but it was like a little scratched, but it actually ended up looking cool. Yeah. It's used at the beginning, you know, the monks and stuff. Yeah, but for him, like...
Unit poet, Kavi G.
Yeah. And I like he had just, because I know he has like a b-boy like background. Yeah. So for a lot of it, for the more hip hop style shots that aren't, there's kind of a cinematic thing that happens. Like, you know, no spoil. Yeah. Go watch Jaili if you haven't watched it. But when it was that kind of stuff, and I had an idea of like, okay, I'm gonna be like on walkie-talkie or just on set, just saying like, watching the playback monitor and going like, all right, little left, okay, go back, go in, you know, for a hip hop video, you know, I'm gonna be editing anyways. But I saw how he was just doing this crazy he would like listen to the song and like really get the beat and stuff and like move the camera, like he's dancing with the camera. And I was like, dude, just you go. All right, for all of these sections, just I'm just gonna shut up and just and I would rarely have most of my directions for him on those. So this is like he was really free to go what he wanted.
He's a true artist.
Yeah, I would just be like, okay, we've gotten enough. That's where the camera's going. Like at the slow thing, can we try more of the high? You know, it was really basic. Like kind of, I would just look at what do we have, what more do I want. Very little direction on that. On the cinematic side of stuff, I was way more hands-on. There's one scene I also don't want to spoil that was like a reactive camera. The camera should look completely unrehearsed, so I also he completely improv'd all the camera work for this one middle scene, the middle part of the Jaili video. So it was like very like, you just go in and you're gonna have this camera and just film whatever you can. I want it to be this like crazy kind of like, what the fuck's going on kind of thing. So he also completely improv'd there like an actor, which is really cool. So I don't know. That was a very long answer to your question, like how hands-on am I with the DP or how do I storyboard? I do storyboard sometimes, but I'll mostly do it just in case that's what I think the client or whatever.
That's what I was going to
They want to see a pretty, because I have a...
They will just want to make sure that you worked hard or like you're prepared. If you can
do this... you could do this like with a pen, imagine with a camera. Wow, he's a really good drawer. He must be a great director. Like, okay, well, it doesn't quite work like that. Jigsaw, lots of arrows and, you know... I like shooting it before knowing what it's going to be and doing a rough edit if possible. And then just a shot list, like a really basic shot list, what lenses are going to be needed and if the camera is going to be on a gimbal or mounted on someone's head or on a... I never use tripods, by the way. I hate tripods. Yeah. Oh, we got 3 of them in here. Makes sense for this. But
3 hours.
The idea of like, I don't know. For me, it's so restricting to have shots that are like this or like this, you know. And even if the camera's still, I generally don't want it like perfectly still. Like I would rather have like some
hand motion.
Some kind of movement of some. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know, that's a tangent right there, but yeah, I love gimbals. Yeah.
And we have the camera anymore. Like the GH5 sate.
Hey, oh my God.
Just 5 sana. I think.
Hey, you don't have it?
It's the camera.
Let me see. This is my old friend. It's similar. Yeah, I think we had a different one, but yeah, shot a movie with a camera of this.
It's like a movie by the way.
Yeah.
But this is Ian. He came to Nepal. I don't know, like कसरी चाहिँ उले पुल आउट गर्यो हैन यस्तो राम्रो नेटवर्किङ एभ्रिथिङ नट अ मिलियनियर तै पनि नेपालमा आएर मुभी बनाएर आफ्नै हसल गरेर मुभी बनाएर यत्रो सानो क्यामेरा हैन यत्रो सानो क्यामेराले
we could have used we definitely had the budget to shoot with like red. I don't know what it would have been at that time. The Red Dragon maybe. Even Suraj was like pushing for that, but we're like, dude, how are we gonna put that on someone's
on a helmet
head? Yeah. It's gonna be this big, and so we, that's a lot of the time. It's the equipment should serve what the
but it's good. It's just it's really good at. It's really good. It's really
I was really impressed with that, and it's annoying because people ask me what I shot with my movie with, and if they're in the industry, so many people be like, you shot with that's not a cinema camera. I'm like, well, it's not a cinema camera because you don't use it. You haven't tried it,
So let's go look
It
interesting.
totally can be. Do you know why I used it? Oh, we put it on a helmet. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe you should just ask first and be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He should have shot on red. Should be 8K. Like, well, I don't know. Are you sure you even want it to be an 8K? Is that, it's not just the resolution. It's the dynamic range. Blah blah blah. But anyways, I've loved using lots of different cameras. Everything I've shot with has been a new. It's always based on
first one something like this, second one something like that.
We had a little metal rig made here, like welded. It was just like a platform with two handles like that. That's what we shot with Mango. It wasn't just like in the handy cam
because it's too light, too shaky. Flow राम्रो.
It was still slow though. I mean, it was still shake. It was not like a gimbal, but it.
तर adding on some weight like अलिकति दिने बित्तिकै त्यो अलिकति cinematic आउँछ. यसको नि micro four thirds छ नि त. So it's better than the full frame जस्तो लाग्छ कि किनकि the look is kind of Super 35 red type को हुन्छ नि. म normally I crop my Sony thing and put on a crop lens and त्यसपछि cinematic खिच्न पर्यो, documentary खिच्न पर्यो त्यसरी खिच्छु. It's even better. Not too much of blurring background हरु.
त्यही त. Yeah.
Music video देख्छ फेरि.
Yeah, exactly. That's
अघि भन्न याद आयो. So cinematography कैमा there was this scene जुन चाहिँ अब एउटा पुलिस स्टेसनमा जाने सीन छ and there's nothing, एउटा basic gimbal shot. I think त्यो चाहिँ POV हैन, gimbal shot हो जस्तो लाग्छ. पछाडिबाट आउँछ जेल भित्र छिर्ने एउटा सानो सीन छ कि it's in the trailer also. वसन्तजीमा
where it's a following shot, not a POV shot.
It's a following shot. Lead लाई त्यो सटल कुराहरु नै कस्तो राम्रो देखाएको छ किनकि यहाँ जेल देखायो नि. इट्स अलवेज लाइक दिस वेल लिट इन्स्पेक्टर अन द टेबल नेपालको झण्डा राखेर भन भयो के छ. अनि त्यो चाहिँ एक्चुअल इट फेल्ट लाइक आई वाज गोइङ टु द जेल विथ देम के. यस्तो हुँदो रहेछ जेल भन्ने हुँदो रहेछ के लाइक व्हेन आई वाच इट. सो द्याट्स द नेचुरल रियल पार्ट जुन चाहिँ रमाइलो छ एकदमै.
Well, I appreciate that. That's
त्यो सिक्वेन्स राम्रो छ. अनि द ब्रदर कम्स आउट त्यतिखेर नै नि त्यो एउटा पार्ट चाहिँ मेमोरीमा स्टक नै छ.
Hey, nice. Okay, that's not something that I always found that to be
डार्कमा गयो नि त अनि फेरि उज्यालोमा आउन बित्तिकै लाइक he's out and then the brother comes in.
Oh shit.
अनि लाइक हुन्छ नि.
It's so intense, right? Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because I love that scene. But I mean, people generally go for the more dark stuff that happens later. But yeah, that police station, that's the thing, and that's what another thing.
How did you get the permit for that?
Krishna Day. Rest in peace, Krishna Day. That was the area that he checks out. That was a real police station. That was completely Krishna Day. Krishna Lamo, rest in peace, best production manager of all time. Just
यो podcast को अगाडि कृष्ण दाइको लागि डेडिकेट गरिदिउँ न प्लिज. अ डार्लिङ. उ त एन्टाइसर बाइकमा आउँथ्यो हैन. एन्टाइसर बाइकमा आउँथ्यो, कोही छैन, एक्लै आउँथ्यो. He was there त्यो उसमा पनि. The ad we shot. जयरी कृष्ण दाइ त
हो. Yeah, okay.
उ त एन्टाइसर बाइकमा आउँथ्यो, सबै कुरा बानेर आउँथ्यो. One man army उले भयो नि त म्युजिक भिडियो एक्लै खिच्दिन्थ्यो उले.
Oh my god.
The real heroes of cinema.
He was the I would always say that he's like the wolf from like Pulp Fiction. For like filmmakers, like you want to make a movie but you just don't know what to do. Like the day that he came when we were doing pre-production on Basanji, and there's just so many things.
He found the house also, no?
I found everything. We had location scouts looking everywhere. I mean, for different colleges, like we just had to shoot at a college. They went to hundreds of colleges, and I saw like I saw all of those sodas. From those, we picked like 20, and then we still didn't find it. He's the one that found like, I think this is the one that you want, and we went. It ended up being in Bhaktapur, and it was perfect. That was the other thing with that movie is that I wasn't going to be able. We're all shooting on eye lines and very restricted camera movements and long takes. So you need to find locations that have nice composition built into the location and multiple, not just like one thing. But when the camera comes over here, there's a new depth or whatever it is that you need. You might not know what you need until you see it. So I just kept looking around. I'd look and this building's cool, but actually we wouldn't see any of that shit in this. You know, and then finally you find it, and Krishna Dai was just so patient with me, just being like, well, this has all the things that you said. And I'm like, yeah, but like, hallway's not so long and whatever, you know. So what we did, and he found the police station as well. The one that they go in though at nighttime, that's not a police. That's an abandoned, semi-abandoned school. It was still in operation, but like half the building was abandoned.
Okay.
It was just crazy. And I'd seen police stations before, so I knew, like in Nepal, like
Gundai.
The very first day I was with Krishna Dai, actually, it's fun. I want to say one of the first days where he's like, okay, there is a jail set up. It's at, I think it's called Maha Studios. They have a big green screen there. Have you seen do they still have it? A jail?
That changes all the time.
Well, I've seen it multiple times now that I've been there. I think they keep it stored away. But it's just like, you know, it's like what you'd see in a old-timey Western or something. It's just these bars and stone, like bricks. And it's just like, that's not what they look like. I've seen what they look like. And actually, everything in Nepal that they try to make look less Nepal is what making it look less interesting. You know, the fact that your entire movie only shows Kathmandu on like Durbar Marg and like, you know what I mean?
Durbar squares.
Things like that. The kid comes down to go to school and there's like pancakes and like glass of orange juice. It's like, is that what your mom makes? No. You know? So, and every single thing, it's trying to be something it's not. It's failing at that. Even if the best it could do again is like tie that, like look exactly like you shot in the US, which would be go shoot in the US then. That's the only way you can tie it. The only way you can beat it is to do something new, which you already have. You have a really cool culture here that most people don't even know about. Like you said, like people outside of Nepal, they know about the mountains, they know about the earthquakes, they know a plane crashed. They don't really know like what people talk like, what the food's like, the culture, what Kathmandu even looks like. And these are all really interesting things. People like love looking at it. They find it really interesting, especially you want to try to do some noir kind of movie or something. Kathmandu is a dream city to shoot in. Every single gully is different, and you'll find like it's so dense. There's so many things to shoot, and instead they want this like sidewalk and, you know, nice building and nice normal paved road. It's everyone's already seen that. This you don't even. I'm sorry. This still doesn't look like San Francisco or whatever you're going for. It's still clearly Kathmandu. It's just like the most boring street in the city. Like you've actually picked the worst. Like you could, and you know there, and that's why I had just a field day with Basanji and Mango Pickle because like none of these locations had been used before. So everything looks like a new location in my movie. Like unless we did go to Durbar Square for like one part, which we shot at nighttime with like just extras that just looked like random like. We didn't, you know, have some festival go. You know, it just made it look as normal. You don't think you don't see any mountains in the whole movie. Like no mountains, gray sky, not this blue sky. I wanted to show the fumey, you know, Kathmandu Dhulo. This sky is kind of grayish. Like that's Kathmandu, you know, or that's a side of Kathmandu they hadn't seen, and it's right there, and it's so, and they don't realize. And I think. And Sarita D, I watched some of the interview, and I think she misinterpreted something I had said about, like, I don't see Kathmandu the same way I saw it before. Do you remember her saying?
Yeah,
she said near there. So what I think what I was saying then, or what I had meant to say then is when I first came to Kathmandu, everything looked like so interesting and new. You know, I wouldn't just see like, oh, that's a street and that's a bank. And that's a meat shop and whatever. You know, everything is just details, and just, you know, and you have to learn all of it. And now that I've been here so long, now it made it easier for me in a way to know where I could shoot because I wasn't looking at it like everyone's like, oh, that's just a water tower. I'm like, no, but look how cool it. Oh, it's a water tower. Okay, well, it looks really cool, and we could, you know, now, you know, if you can unlearn. Just look at Kathmandu like you've never seen it before. It's crazy, and I still try to stay in that mindset. But now I'm also like, oh, te masupa solo, oh, to tandoori, oh, Ford, oh, there's a cow. Like, who cares? You know, of course, there's a cow there. Like, you know, so I have to get that. I think that's what I meant. It's like I don't see it.
You know what? I knew what you meant. I knew that Sarita Didi let's misinterpret गरे. You know, I know your style. You like the thing अनि उसले चाहिँ सरिता दिदीले चाहिँ के बुझ्यो भन्दाखेरि धेरै बिल्डिङ भयो अब काठमाडौँ इज नट ब्युटिफुल एनिमोर अनि
no,
इयनलाई
it's
मन
not
परेन
anymore.
होला बट आई न्यू के
Yeah,
आई वाज लाइक ओके नटिङ अब काट्न
okay.
त मन थिएन
Yeah, I felt kind of bad because I was like, oh shit, people are gonna think I like hate the city. Like I live here, I like the city. Yeah, it's got its problems. We've got some serious problems to solve here. Having pollution and all this, not good. But as far as shooting
it is what it
goes,
is, I know.
it's unapologetic. It's so unique. It's so different. There's no and people like, and I'll meet people here that are like, oh, they love City of God, you know, that's shot in Rio de Janeiro, and I'm like, and then you look at the movie that they make, and it's like, why are you trying to make this look like New York when you've got like City of God like right here? Actually, more interesting, arguably, than like these tin roofed, you know, like they shot in the favelas, and I mean that place is really cool, but like what about Kirtipur? If you just look at Kirtipur, the way that hill looks, no one's shooting there. It's like a fantastic. You show. You want to do drone shots? Show that thing, like low angle going at Kirtipur. It is a hill. It looks like it's just someone took. You wouldn't even know there's a hill inside there. Like it just looks like someone dumped a bunch of houses out in a pile, you know, and it just looks like there's houses on top of houses on every rooftop. You can go to every other roof. Where's your action movie with the parkour and stuff? I mean, come on. There's parkour guys here. It's so underused. And I think people have this kind of shame for some reason. They're like, oh, it's Kathmandu floor. It's not like, you know, whatever, developed. So fucking what? Like, it's really interesting. It's got its own culture. It's real. It's unique. It's actually the only thing you've got here that's, if you try to do these other things, you're just going to fail. Make the real thing. And everyone's gonna be interested. Why do you think Doctor Strange? They never even thought about them. When Marvel came here, what did they do? They showed the city. You know, they showed all the. I don't know. I think they shot around Kotashore or something. There's some big jam area showing all the local stuff, and you know, showing the river with the trash in it and stuff. They had all that in there because they're like, this is cool. And then no one took that page like, oh, we can actually just. You know, I'm not saying that we shouldn't do something about the pollution and all these bad things, but as it stands, it's better to just be honest. And it has its own dramatic. It's like casting is already done for your movie. You know, people are also so. How many movies have you seen set in the United States, set in New York City? I mean, it's just like, or now in like Seoul, Korea, or you know, London. We've seen this like over and over. No one's seen Kathmandu, like really.
Is it like you passed out from your college with friends? Maybe उनीहरू हलिउडमा काम गरेर होला or बाहिर होला. So maybe त्यहाँको too much भएर you don't feel left out or नत्र यति धेरै वर्ष भइसक्यो यहाँ बसेको. I would want to shoot something in Scotland or US भन्ने.
Oh no, I do.
अलिकति miss out हुन्छ नि. Because
well, yeah, I do want to do that. I mean, my next project is going to be set in those places. But at that time, no. Like when I first was coming here and making both of these projects, I was like, Nepal's the most interesting location to do this. So everywhere else, I was thinking about, you know, you could shoot Basanji in like, you know, London or something, but it just wouldn't have we've already seen, you know, the location itself is going to give so much extra to this movie and the culture here and everything, the way people speak and everything. It's just like, Now I'm getting ideas for another thing, but it's also going to be more challenging for me to find equally mind-blowing locations. And I think we want to shoot in US and we want to shoot in Nigeria and I think we want to shoot in UK. It's not all figured out yet, but I'm going to have to. It's really going to be a challenge now after living here this long and shooting here. Like, I don't think people realize how much like oversaturation of amazing locations are here that just are ignored. And it's everywhere you look, really. Like when I first got here, I literally almost felt sick from how overwhelmed I was at how many cool things I wanted to stop the car and go look at, you know? So where I'm from, in New Hampshire, it would be like you're driving trees. Okay, one building. Okay, trees. Here it was like this crazy looking street with some weird building and then a building that's like this and then like a hill that just goes up and up and, you know. And I couldn't, like, I didn't know where to look, and I'm like, how can you have so many cool things all next to each other, you know? And then we drive down like through like Osun, you know, his dad's taking us through Osun, and you just suddenly, and you're looking at shop, and then suddenly you see this inside a gully, and then there's another thing, and then there's another one, and it's like a little glimpse of like a whole world, and then it's gone, and then there's another one, and then another one, and another one, and then it's like I realized Kathmandu. I thought coming here, I'll go see everything that there is to see, more or less. I think I had that in my head, and then when it dawned on me that I was never going to be able to do that, it was very distressing and also really wonderful feeling. I think that's why I stayed here, to shoot as much as I could here. And I think people here need to, like filmmakers here, are insanely lucky. And also the diversity of the locations, not just the people. Like diversity of people is also amazing. But like you've got flatlands. You know, I know you kind of fell in love with the whole shooting in Tarai later. I'm totally with you on that now. So you've got that, then you've got serious jungles in there as well, like legit, like
way too good, man.
You know, like you want to go shoot a Jungle Book type movie, got that. Then you've got the hills that are like crazy dramatic hills, and forests that are more like a forest you'd see in Europe or something, or in a traditional horror movie, like a forest. I would say different from a jungle, you know, like pine trees and stuff. And then you've got cities that are crazy, like Kathmandu. But it's not the only one. I mean, you go to Biratnagar, you make a really cool movie, or I don't know, a lot of different places. And then you've got desert, like upper Himalayan deserts. You can shoot like a western or whatever. You've got like literal desert. And then you've got snow, like 24/7 in the mountains. You want snow, you want jaggedy. So the only thing missing is like ocean. Otherwise, you've got almost every climate like represented in Nepal at a short distance from each other. I'm trying to think, is there anything that Nepal doesn't have? Land. Right. If you're looking at landscapes, like I think it's just the ocean is missing.
Yeah, the seas or the ocean. The important होइन.
It's still no. You don't really need. I mean, yeah, it's nice to shoot. You could just all right. Your
movie. Sequence
go into India, shoot it there, then fine. But otherwise, you can shoot. It's like the whole world kind of compressed. You know, all of the landscapes of the world kind of compressed into one tiny place. That you can, at the beginning of the day, it can be crazy hot. Like, you know, you could be in Tarai, and by evening, you can be in an upper Himalayan desert.
Yeah, easily.
And just completely different location. And that's just crazy. Most places in the world do not have that. Like, I mean, I know the United States has a huge diversity of locations, but it is huge. The place is huge. Trying to film everywhere in the United States, like, look how your budget's going to go. You come to Nepal, you can get there within an hour. You can change the whole climate. So it's like a filmmaker's heaven here. This should be like a international movie haven.
Dude, that's why I don't get tired of like going around and around. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And all of this time, just like we go there, like observe what beautiful spirits they have, right? You know, the mansir. That just gives me a different kind of pleasure that just keeps me going on and on. It's like small, but accessible. So there's always some more place to.
That is the sometimes you can't, there's not even a road or
it's just जति घुम्न नि सकिन्छ नेपाल चाहिँ. It's beautiful.
And you go to one, finally, like everyone's telling you to go to one village, you get there and it's like amazing, and then you look around like all these hills you didn't know existed. It's like damn, and then they'll be like oh damn, I'm like, so, and if I go there, then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, oh you want that? Oh there, that's the, you know. It just keeps. It feels like it's like, are you making this up? Like, is this just, you know, generating in front of me? Like it's like a virtual reality. Like it just seems like for a country this small, how can it be so? But you think about it like a blanket that's really crunched up, you know. But you've got so much, like, so huge area, all just like
really fortunate, ni. You could easily mock Switzerland, India, नि.
Yeah.
Like anything mock चाहिँ गर्न मिल्छ. Like Brazilian rainforest, there's parts of यही नै Shivapuri is like what, half an hour bike ride. अलिकति monsoon time चाहिँ हुनुपर्छ. You could easily mock like the Lord of the Rings को जंगल्सहरु हुन्छ कि के हुन्छ. You could easily mock it.
Yeah. And like where we shot in Nagarkot for Basanji, there's like big pine trees. I mean, that looks like Blair Witch kind of place.
1 hour drive.
Exactly. Yeah, and we showed it in I've shown it in Basanji, not as much in Mango Pickle. That was mostly just a meditation on Kathmandu. But I every time I'm done, I'm like, I really underused. There's still so much I wish I could just like jam into the movie, but you can't. But then I want to see other filmmakers really like, if they can just kind of wake up and really just look around and realize how insane this place is, how cool this
No,
place
the time is coming, man.
It is.
Like I think
wait,
5-10 years, big fucking revolution. जति filmmakers छ like early like teenagers छ कि early 20s मा छ कि राम्रो छ एउटा wave आउँदैछ. It's like crazy and they're changing the ways कि उनीहरू like they're 19 रे but उनीहरूको क्रुमा अहिलेदेखि नै like VFX गर्ने guy stylist देखि सबै कुरा आइसक्यो. production हेर्दिने they're way too smart, हैन?
Oh, it sounds like you're intimidated.
No.
They're really smart. They're gonna come for our jobs now. No, I think it's great. I'm like, I'm happy to hear it. I'm waiting for them. Please prove him correct. This next wave,
it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen.
It's late. You guys are late, actually. Like, speed up. Like, we're waiting. Yeah, I just want to see. Look at South Korea, man. Like, it is now the hub of for entertainment in the whole world. Like, came out of nowhere, and that's small country in Asia that's making content mostly. Now they're having more English content, but before it was mostly all in their own language. And like, here we are in Nepal. We've got all the same equipment they've got. Get any kind of professional. You've got the professional crews they've got. Actually, maybe they're underused, but you've got talented people from pre to post. Everything's here. It could very easily be, and it'll be better if we all, one movie just gets in this kind. It's not gonna be enough. We need a lot. We need more, and we'll get a lot of attention. What's going on in Nepal? It's so cool, And I know it's here. I know that the talent's here. It's just we need like a wave, like all at once. You know what I mean? It's too spread out, and everyone takes too long.
Laid back.
Yeah. I mean, that's the blessing and the curse of Nepal.
I was about to say the same thing.
Chill, but it's a bit too chill. Yeah, but all right. Yeah, everyone speed up. Yeah, and I'm saying that I shot my last short. We shot almost 2 years ago. It's still stuck in like post-production. VFX. Yeah, I swear to God.
Sound. This is something I don't know about.
Yeah, you don't know about this. Or maybe. Rajiv shot it. It stars Srizana and Supreme, who's played Akash and Basanji.
Yeah, okay.
And it has to do with like a Patao driver that's not really a Patao driver.
Okay.
Kind of a thriller, kind of a dark, kind of...
We actually had plans for Srijanako music video, the Bag Lady.
Hey, oh! Wow, yeah. Yeah, that was the cover song. That was before she started actually writing her own stuff. That was what, Studio Nepal, right?
Something,
it's called Studio. It was near like...
Yeah.
Tarkari Pasal.
Tarkari Pasal.
Yeah, we met up for that. Oh, that is so... now that you say that, I recently found all the storyboards for that. I did storyboard that like the entire...
She is actually, of course, Srijana Regmi, ekdam pretty मान्छे, एकदमै elegant लाग्छ मलाई. Really love her, very good friend. उसको टाउकोमा यस्तै छ, so we call ourselves twins-हरु जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई. हेर्दाखेरि like आफ्नै दिदी बहिनी कोही भए त्यस्तै देखिन्थ्यो होला. अनि excellent singer रहेछ, एकदम राम्रो, complete package. Congratulations, bro. त्यही त एक्चुअली उसको म्युजिक भिडियो बनाउनु पर्ने थियो कुनै दिन.
I'm actually, we just shot another for her third. She has 2 music videos out that I directed. I don't know if you saw them. Murder Mountain, Floods in Spring. Both kind of found footage style. So this is another, what is the thing?
Retro-ish type ko थियो यो दुईटा अगाडिको.
Yeah, this one we shot with a high tape camera.
Okay.
In night vision. The whole thing's in night vision.
Okay.
Like shot in complete darkness. And so you get that glowing eye effect and everything. And like, it's in the editing stage right now. And I have a friend in New York who's doing some really cool glitch, kind of tape glitch type effects to it. It's like, very excited for that one. That'll be dropping soon. Yeah. So, that'll be soon-ish. So those three kind of have become a trilogy in a way. Those music videos.
Nice.
So yeah, this one's the darkest. This is the darkest one yet. No.
Alright, यस्तो लाग्यो. We could go on for hours, but we got a photo shoot of our own team. And we got to be ready. I think कोही आएको.
We're at like Avatar length here. This is like 3 hours 20 something. We're at
Avatar.
We've tied Avatar.
Avatar 3.
All right. I think we did we cover it ever? Let us know in the comments. Did we cover everything? I think we did.
I think we could go on and on forever. But I think Ian le भने जस्तो कुनै दिन मलाई like I think we need a cafe where you could invite filmmakers. Secret.
Yeah, everyone has to sign an NDA.
Chill गर्ने ठाउँ. There was one in Clement and I found it really interesting. Calementमा सबै आर्टिस्टहरु भेट्ने क्याफे रहेछ, फिल्ममेकर्सहरु.
Ali underground towns, it's like
only
non-public place, and we just like have some beers and coffee and whatever, and just talk like once a week maybe or a couple times a month.
Yeah.
And then just like give us all pressure to actually write.
Yeah.
Because you can't come back the next month with the same shit and we're like, dude, that's what you were brought last time. Like, I know, fuck. Yeah, they do. Yeah, all right. Yeah, tune into the Writer's Circle, a new non-podcast from me and Sisan just writing, and there will be no cameras. Yeah. Right.
Nothing. Okay, so bro, thank you so much for coming in, man.
This has been great.
Once again, though it's a very old thing, congratulations for Mango Pickle, हाम्रो Friday आइरहेको छ, and बसन्जीको लागि will be बसन्जीको फर्स्टमा नाम के थियो?
Language of Flowers, फुलको भाषा
भन्दा अगाडि नि केही थियो के? फुलको भाषा पछि Being Devkota. I was there when Being Devkota.
Was that? Yeah.
So 3-4 naam change भयो. Last मैले बसन्जी छ, which is going to release probably soon. त्यसको लागि पनि we'll maybe have a different meetup.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. So much for today. Ian, before you leave, एउटा खाली ग्लास भने cheers गर्दौँ.
हुन्छ त्यो bad luck हुँदैन.
अनि हुँदैन. अनि त्यसपछि
drink from it too. अलि बाँकी थियो.
अनि जाने बेला पनि एउटा एकदमै cheesy cliche question सोध्ने गरेछ मैले सबैजनालाई, so that just random thing. Maybe we could compile it later भनेर. For you, like, bro, what is life for you, or like what's your thing? Like सबैजनालाई like cool shit दिदिम न एक लास्टमा लाइन.
What is life
for you, man? I know, like super cheesy stuff.
कति शब्द
जति शब्द भयो नि हुन्छ. Or it could be just an expression.
Pizza. Okay, my first answer would be pizza. My second answer would be have fun and leave it better. Try to leave it better than you got it, as in Earth and people.
Cool.
Try to do something good, but also enjoy yourself. Not at the expense of others, but enjoy yourself, and also, if you can do the two together, that's great. You should enjoy yourself and try to help out a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pass on the...
Yeah, and the global warming is real. Yeah. And the Earth is not flat. Yeah. And
anything else? Yeah. Avatar 3 will also suck.
Avatar 3 will also suck, and the Trump campaign is also going to suck again. But then there's a lot of great things, so you should be happy. And his movie is going to be great. Now you have to make it. Yeah. Because I just announced it's going to be really good. He just told me everything about it, and you guys, you won't believe this script. It's crazy. It's insane. I can't tell you anything, but just wait. It'll be ready soon-ish, right? All right, yeah.
I'll take my time. मलाई screenwriter, scriptwriter चाहिरहेको छ यो यारमा. Just email me, man. All right, signing off, Ian.
All right.
Anything that you want to say to the people? Or to the bike?
K-Team Collective. Follow K-Team Collective. Instagram, yeah.
Signing off. Paradygm Podcast. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you.
अब यस्तो गर्ने cheers नगरौँ यो धेरै भयो. ल bye bye.
This is like a fade out?
Yeah.
Are we still fading out?
Yeah.
You still filming?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're faded out.
Okay.